St Mirren against Hearts, with updates on other 3 o'clock kickoffs and the goal news from the lower leagues. And from 5:45, our second commentary of the day, Rangers against Alloa Athletic. If any of the cup games are level after 90 minutes, we'll go to extra time and 2 penalties. Time now to sit back and enjoy the action. As soon as anything happens elsewhere, we'll bring that to you. But our first commentary comes from Paisley. St Mirren against Hearts for a place in the quarter-finals of the Premier Sports Cup with Stephen Thompson, Alan Preston and Stuart Mitchell.
It's another massive weekend in the Scottish football season. Mouth-watering ties all around the last 16 of the League Cup. But this all-top-flight clash in Paisley is a pretty interesting one. St Mirren, always respected by opposition managers across the country. They've only conceded 1 goal so far in their Premiership action, but haven't scored. And they did bounce back after a sticky League Cup start, losing on penalties to Arbroath, but followed it up with 3 straight wins to sail into this round. For Heart of Midlothian, 6 is the magic number so far, with 6 straight victories in all competitions. But it's about the number 4 in the League Cup. 4 wins, 4 goals scored in each of them. And across those matches, 21 scored in total in the 6 games. But today, coming up against a stubborn St Mirren at the Smysa Stadium. The players are on the pitch. St Mirren will be shooting from left to right from our commentary view into the Hearts fans, across in the away stand to our right, wearing the traditional black and white stripes with the white shorts. Heart of Midlothian going from right to left to start in their maroon tops with the white arrows on the shoulders, the white shorts with the maroon trim. And we have a false start to kick off from Cammy Devlin. Such an anticipation around Paisley this afternoon and across all the games that we'll keep you covered on in Sports Sound. Hearts do take kick-off with the ball back to Craig Halkett, immediately sending the long ball forward, headed away by Alex Gogic. Magnuson, a tall imposing figure in the middle, wins the header, but St Mirren now on the attack down the right side. It's Richardson, thought about the cross, extra couple of touches, plays it inside, was looking for Phillips, but Kizaridis nips in to steal the ball, and Hearts will look to work their way forward, but that's quite the challenge from Killian Phillips, who goes sliding in and gives a big scream towards the home support down in the stand to our right where we sit. Joining me on commentary this afternoon, former Hearts player Alan Preston, and the man who scored the winning goal back in the big day for St Mirren in 2013 when we won this competition, Stephen Thompson. Stephen, I think the tone really been set by that challenge from Killian Phillips there.
Yeah, he loves a challenge, doesn't he? Loves whipping the crowd up as well. It was actually a really good opportunity for St Mirren down the right hand side, and I felt as though Richardson should have just flashed it into the box. He takes a touch and ends up making a bit of a meal of it, but a bright enough start from St Mirren.
1 minute on the clock, still 0-0 here between St Mirren and Heart of Midlothian as the buddies look to build once more. Mandron takes the ball into feet, holds it well, but just shows a little bit too much in the path of Stuart Finlay, who allows it to run out of play for a throw. Alan, that's a sold out Hearts end across to right, as you'd really expect as well this afternoon, but they're travelling in really buoyant moved after Derek McInnes' start to the season so far.
Yeah, they are. A chance to get in the quarterfinals of the Cup even this early on, and Derek's on a good record in Cup competitions, getting to finals with Aberdeen. So it's an opportunity, but a really tough game, Stuart, really is.
Derek McInnes, a fantastic record against St Mirren too. 4 losses in around 42 matches I make it against St Mirren as a manager, stretching back to his time at St Johnstone. 3 defeats here though in Paisley out of around 22 away trips that he's faced the buddies. But there's so many storylines it feels around this game, and for Hearts as well, an interest in the new signings with 5 of them starting from the summer editions this afternoon. Debut for Pierre-Landry Cabore and Thomas Bent Magnuson, who's in the midfield. We'll just run through the teams when we get a moment. Xander Clark unconvincing with a kick out there as the ball was played back. McEntee does well in the air to win it though. Cabore just loses out and the ball will roll back to the defence for Alex Gogic to sweep up in the centre of that back 3 for Stephen Robinson. Gogic on the ball now, looks out to this near side where Marcus Fraser takes with the bright orange boots. He's closed down by Alexandros Kizaridis. So to run through the team lineups, 1 change for St Mirren from their 0-0 draw with Motherwell. John Ayunga coming in for Idowu, so a back 3, Fraser, Gogic and Freckleton, Richardson, Phillips, Bacchus, O'Hara and John in the middle, with Mandron and Ayunga up top. And it's Ayunga on the ball at the moment. He'll look out to the midfield. O'Hara sweeps it to the left. Declan John now steps on with the left foot. There's plenty in the box for St Mirren here. The cross coming over and it drops and it's headed away. And Xander Clark will get there to catch out of the air. It was Finlay with the important header in defence. But this has been a very pacey start from both teams. There's quite a bit of space there over on the left side for St Mirren when they went on that move forward, Stephen.
Yeah, Declan John does well, just takes the ball out of his feet, puts it into a really good area in the centre of the 6-yard box. But Stuart Finlay with a really commanding defensive header. St Mirren have started the better team.
3.5 minutes played, 0-0. Hearts have a free kick on this near side in front of Stephen Robinson's technical area, as Kizaridis was trying to make a way through 3 St Mirren players and was tugged to the ground. So opportunity possibly here for Harry Milne to whip in the free kick. It is quite a way back in St Mirren territory, but that left foot of Milne has shown a lot of promise already this season, and there's a long line of maroon there to aim for. He goes towards the back. Halkett was there, the header won by Phillips, and the last touch off the St Mirren man will take out for a throw on the far side.
Frankie Kent's asking if he should be going up.
A bit of confusion.
He's talking to Halkett. He was looking over at the bench there with that free kick coming in from Milne.
It's no surprise Stuart Finlay's making his way forward now towards that front post from the far side throw-in that's about to be taken. 4 goals in his first 5 games at Hearts, with 3 in his last 2, following the double against Dundee United last Sunday, including the important winner. Throw-in, looped in, headed away at the front post by the St Mirren defence though. And O'Hara will try and lead his team forward, the most advanced player, and he's brought to the ground. And that will be a free kick and a yellow card for Thomas Bent Magnuson on his first start.
He runs across him. I don't think it's a yellow card.
I think purely because St Mirren were on the counter-attack. Yeah, it's his first foul in the match, maybe a bit harsh, but Mark O'Hara done really well taking the ball out from the long throw, and St Mirren were on the counter, so I think that's more to do with that than the actual foul itself.
It's been a spine-tingling start with the pace of the game so far in Paisley. Maybe that has a factor in the referee Stephen McLean's decision. The first booking going the way of Magnuson, a sign from the Icelandic side Valur. He's a highly rated midfielder with an imposing presence. Shamal George takes the free kick. It drops in the Hearts area and it's swiped clear long and high towards Lawrence Shankland. He thought about challenging Gogic, but he dropped off, and it was the right decision as he wins the loose ball from the St Mirren centre-back's header, and it's cleared out to that far side, and now it will be Oisin McEntee going across to take, and he'll go quickly, rolling it all the way back to Kent. Now Halkett. St Mirren pressing. It's well worked, and it's now an opportunity for Devlin on the ball. He swings his head to look around the left shoulder to spot Halkett, who now plays it across to Finlay, and perhaps going from right to left from our commentary position. That's overrun by Kizaridis for a St Mirren throw. I will come back to that Hearts team in just a moment, but it's been such a zippy speed to this game already in the first 6 minutes between St Mirren and Heart of Midlothian. The score is 0-0. Phillips on the ball now just at the halfway line. He'll play it back to the left side for Gogic, and now the pass over. It will be an opportunity for Keanu Bacchus to take the ball in the centre circle. The Australian international rejoining Stephen Robinson's side after a move to Mansfield Town. Familiar face in amongst a lot of new signings in Scottish football. George has the ball on the edge of the D for St Mirren to run through that Hearts team. 3 changes from that win against Dundee United, with Forrest, Spittle and Braga dropping out. Kabori comes in with Kizaridis and Magnuson. Phillips on the ball, looks long. There's the touchdown, and the referee had a look as Halkett went to ground after the challenge from Jonah Ayunga. After a few seconds, the whistle sounds from Stephen McLean, and Hearts will have the free kick. So to run through the starting 11, Xander Clark in goal for Derek McInnes, with the back 3 of Kent, Halkett and Findlay. McEntee, Devlin, Magnuson and Milne make up the midfield, with Kabori, Shankland and Kizaridis the forward 3. Xander Clark keeping his place after a couple of hairy moments at Tannadice, conceding the 2 goals last Sunday, but he would be in favour of Derek McInnes sticking the faith in his goalkeeper. A couple of appearances in this competition for Ryan Fulton as well. There's so much depth in that Heart of Midlothian squad now for the new manager. I spoke about how there does need to be some departures. There's a decision to make with the injury to the Norwegian right back. Forrester was called back on loan. Hearts have the ball on the far side. They've got a throw in the attacking zone, looking to make their way into the final third. Magnuson drops it back. Shankland makes the run into the penalty area. Magnuson takes again. The long hair and the white hairband. He is a very, very tall midfielder, 6'2", big presence. And Hearts work it all the way back to Halkett. The front two of Mandron and Ayunga looking to press, but it's worked out well by the men in maroon. Here's Stuart Finlay stepping over the halfway line, but just a bit of miscommunication with Harry Milne, who had stopped his run, hoping the ball was going to come into feet, and the opportunity for St Mirren to clear now. 0-0 it remains with 8.5 played.
Yeah, I just don't feel as though Hearts have settled into the game all that well. It's Mirren obviously pressing them at every opportunity, putting them under pressure. They've made one or two kind of unforced errors, if you like, when they're passing. I think Derek will be overly pleased with their ball retention at the minute.
Milne on it again now in his own half, infield to Halkett, looks for the drop move of Devlin, who took a touch to just show the ball to O'Hara, who thought there was an opportunity to steal, but the wee midfielder swipes it back to Halkett. McEntee stands on the ball in the midfield. Here's Bacchus, threads it through. Mandron, lovely little turn with the touch on the outside of the boot, allows him to face goal. Bacchus takes now, players flooding forward for St Mirren. O'Hara has it, teases the cross in, Phillips made the run. St Mirren supporters claim for a penalty, but Stephen McLean points towards Killian Phillips and judges that one to be just a coming together of the bodies, and Hearts will have the goal kick for Xander Clark to take. 9.5 played, 0-0.
I think it's good defending by Harry Milne, just gets his body in line. Phillips running through, just stops him. No foul there at all.
No, never a foul. It's funny how the fans just see football differently, don't they? I actually think Stephen Robinson would have been able at the fourth official as well. Never in a million years.
Well, with the atmosphere around Spicer Stadium this afternoon, feels like there's so much on this one. Of course there is. There's only a possibility of a couple of games away from Hampden Park. Two sides that be hoping for top end finishes. This is lovely play from St Mirren though. Jonah Ayunga takes the ball, right channel, was looking to get it through for the onrushing Richardson, but the last touch comes of a Hearts player, and the first corner of the afternoon goes the way of the home side. St Mirren 0-0.
It was really good play from St Mirren down the right hand side. It was very, very tight to the byline, but they managed to work it well. Eventually the pass from Ayunga, corner's taken short.
Phillips takes, there's the overlap from John, left-footed, pass into Bacchus on the edge of the area, left-footed shot, but gets it all wrong as he catches it too early with almost the pinky of his left foot, and he'll go all the way out for a throw-in on the far side, and it will remain St Mirren 0, Heart of Midlothian 0.
Well, you can see that was one for the training ground there. They took it short, then got another man at the edge of the box. He gets himself free, but gets his shot horribly wrong.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. It went sideways.
All still out of play as Hearts get ready to take the throw. Just reminded there is no VAR in play this afternoon. The match officials, Stephen McLean listed as the main man, of course, in the black refereeing kit on the pitch, and there might be a chance here for St Mirren. Loose ball in behind. Mandron looks to turn, it comes off the left shoulder of Clark and then headed behind by Craig Halkett for a second St Mirren corner. That almost out of nothing, the long ball over the top of the Hearts defence, causing trouble there, Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, St Mirren are the team in the ascendancy here, and it was the ball up. Frankie Kent didn't deal with it particularly well. Mandron was trying to get it to sit down, it just wouldn't. Eventually gets his shot away, which was actually well blocked in the end by Xander Clark. It's just run out. Yeah, I have to say, I haven't watched Hearts this season in the flesh, and there's been a lot of chat about how good they've been, but so far in this game they've really struggled. I don't even think, apart from a couple of long throws, they've managed to get into St Mirren's final third through open play. Yeah,
there's Derek sending on a note to Harry Milne, giving him a piece of paper with obviously something on it. Just wonder if he could just holding his time. He's running all the way over, giving it into Devlin. Derek's clearly seen something. I agree with Stephen, really good start from St Mirren.
That sight will never not get old in football, the old bit of paper getting passed on to a player, and allows opportunity for some possible social media coverage too if they've been caught on cameras. But obviously Derek McInnes not happy with something. As Stephen said, the team on the ascendancy is the home side St Mirren, but it remains 0-0 with almost 12.5 minutes played as St Mirren take the throw in far side. Goes long towards Mandron, and they will work up towards the halfway line now with another throw in to take.
They just need more energy, Hearts. St Mirren have come out the traps. You heard Stephen Robinson saying last week he didn't get his press right. He's certainly got it right today so far.
We heard Brian McLaughlin's interview at the start with Stephen Robinson, who held his hands up for showing too much respect to Motherwell in the league match here last Saturday. Is there a possibility that maybe that's a sign of the respect that Derek McInnes has shown to Stephen Robinson and St Mirren this afternoon in the early stages?
Not really. Derek would have wanted his team to be a lot better than they were. The problem is when you're playing against St Mirren, they suffocate you and they deny you space and they press you so hard. So you need real quality in the ball to pop around their press at times, and right now they're not getting that. They cannot find the spare men. Derek spoke before the game about trying to get Kabore and Kizardis on the ball. Not managed to do it yet.
The Hearts boss was just having a word with Alexandros Kizaridis there, just looking for a bit more of an adjustment in the forward line that could possibly help Hearts hold the ball a bit better up in that final third. Marcus Fraser has the football just now low for St Mirren. His long ball forward for Mandron, takes it on the chest, halfway line, and after that touch, a looping pass forward for Jonah Ayunga to chase, but Clark's quick out of the penalty area. The Hearts goalkeeper clears away for the Jambos. Bacchus on the ball, so tidy in possession, finds Richardson on this right side. St Mirren going from left to right. He stabs the ball back to the Buddies goalkeeper, Shamal George. The short pass out for Gogic. Gogic moves forward. Cyprus International now finding O'Hara. Bacchus again, lovely pass outside of the foot. Richardson in behind Milne here, and he cuts it across, and there's a sliding challenge from Halkett. That was so important, because Jonah Ayunga was waiting there on the edge of the 6-yard area to slot the ball home. But what a challenge from Craig Halkett to slide with the outside of the right foot and turn away the danger. It remains with almost a quarter of the game played. St Mirren 0, Heart of Midlothian 0.
Well, firstly, the pass from Keanu Bacchus is absolutely exquisite into the path of Richardson. He's got to do things earlier and quicker. He's breaking into the box. You can see a mile off that Ayunga's just needs the ball squared to him. He took an extra couple of seconds, and then when he did try to fire it across, it wasn't fired with any deal of pace on it, so it allowed Halkett to get there. He was in a good position, Halkett, albeit, but a chance gone a begging for Saints.
Ball hammered away. We'll get across to Capello, where there's an update on the game between Greenock Morton and Aberdeen. St Mirren on the ball, so we'll just hold a second as Gogic takes now, looking to start a move forward for St Mirren. Phillips now just inside the Heart of Midlothian half. He's asking for the move of Richardson, who takes on the edge of the final third. Phillips now loops it, and it's cleared into the sky by Stuart Finlay. Phillips now heads down, taken by Mandron. Devlin looks for the challenge. St Mirren first at every ball at the moment in the midfield area. Mark O'Hara sends it back to Gogic. So let's cross over to Billy Dodds, who's at Capello.
Yeah, Morton still standing firm. Aberdeen have a lot of the ball, trying to use the extra man in midfield, so they've had plenty of possession. Only real chance came, Stuart, a couple of moments ago when a Nielsen pass put Jensen in on the right hand side. His cutback was just waiting to be stuck in by Yengi, but it was booted clear. It just fell short. But Aberdeen still on the attack, getting plenty of possession, but still 0-0.
Thanks very much, Billy. Coverage from the other grounds. Hearts here looking to move the ball forward, finding a way into the St Mirren half, and it's Magnuson playing the pass back to Halkett, and he shifts it for the near left side for Findlay. He'll now go diagonal into the penalty box. Shamal George comes out, and there's a nasty collision there between Pierre-Landry Kabore and the St Mirren goalkeeper Shamal George. Alex Gogic is unhappy, and a few others of George's teammates are also getting involved. Stephen McLean has to sort this one out. He's peeling Kabore away from the St Mirren pack and brings Shankland across for a conversation. So let's quickly cross to McDermott Park. Willie's there watching St Johnstone against Motherwell.
Still goalless here. You know, a lot of nice, neat football from both sides. The visitors have definitely been on top. They've had the bulk of possession. They've built the game up well. Not too many opportunities, but Eli just very prominent. Tom Sparrow as well down the right hand side, and Stephen O'Donnell with probably the best chance, corner from the right, came in, had a clear header of it, just saved the near post. As for St Johnstone, they haven't created much at all. They've been in the back foot. It's only been sporadic clearances up the park that's actually got them out of their own half. So very much Motherwell on top just now, but we're still waiting for that first goal.
Thanks very much, Willie. And let's go to Chick, who's at Firhill for Partick Thistle against Ayr United.
Yeah, still Thistle 0, Ayr United 0. Thistle having the most of it actually with the ball in the net. Tony Watt was adjudged offside. Before that, he had an unbelievable run from the halfway line, powered forward, struck the ball low, and it came off the post. So Thistle having the better of it. They're getting forward time after time, as they're doing again right now. And Les Souza looks a real find down the right hand side for them. Thistle having the better of it, 0-0. And I must say, Stuart, before the game we had a minute's of pause, I meant to say, for the former Thistle and indeed St Johnstone player Sammy Johnson, who passed away this week. Thanks
very much for letting us know, Chick. Meanwhile, here in Paisley, Jamal George is sitting up after some treatment from the home medical team. Alan Preston and Stephen Thompson are just trying to get another look at the challenge, trying to find a monitor. Stephen McLean had a word with Kabore, who was showing concern for the St Mirren goalkeeper, as both collided in the air, and now applause from the St Mirren supporters as they're happy to see their goalkeeper back on his feet just to the far side of the 6-yard area. But the boos remained because there was no card shown to the Hearts attacker. Alan Preston, you were trying to get a view of that challenge. Did you see anything?
Trying to see it. It's difficult to see it, but if the referee deems it not even be a yellow card, then I think he's maybe being a bit over aggressive for the keeper. Keepers get protection, but I'm sure the ball's up in the air. Stephen Thompson would have went for it.
To be fair, yeah, he was marginally late, but it's a challenge that he had every right to go for. So it's a difficult one actually for Stephen McLean, because he arrives probably half a second late once Jamal George has got the ball in his hands, and then kind of, because they're in the air, they can't stop their bodies colliding, and the kind of pace takes him into Jamal George. So yeah, I mean, if it had been a yellow, then I wouldn't have had too many complaints, but I can understand why Stevie's let it go.
Jamal George is ready to take the free kick now. You may remember him from Livingston for a couple of seasons when he made around 80 appearances before he left for Wycombe Wanderers, and he's on loan to Stephen Robinson from Wycombe Wanderers this season. Almost 20 minutes played. It is St Mirren 0, Heart of Midlothian 0, but in that first 20 minutes, the better chances falling the way of the home side. Craig Halkett with an important intervention to stop what looked almost a certain goal for the home team. Derek McInnes has been trying to get some instructions on to his side. They move forward now. Gogic sliding away right-footed and hooks the ball all the way into the Hearts half. Finlay with the cushioned header down, and he now clears with the left foot. Just looking for one team to take control of the ball. St Mirren will have the throw-in, and Stephen Robinson pacing the white paint at the front of his technical area. As you so often see, applauds his team. He's very happy with the way his side have started this one against the Hearts side, who are full of momentum at the moment after their 4 League Cup group matches and 2 victories in the Premiership, and a tricky start at home to Aberdeen and away to Dundee United. Freckleton heads into the midfield. O'Hara takes for St Mirren. Kizaridis does well to get his foot to the ball, but he didn't have much time, so he could only play it straight to Gogic in St Mirren colours. Halkett wins the header. This is Milne facing his own goal, plays it back to Findlay, also wearing bright orange boots, one of a few for the two teams on the pitch this afternoon. Here's Oisin McEntee across the halfway line. He'll be looking to get a bit more involved on that right side. Magnuson, who was booked earlier at the start of the game for preventing a O'Hara breakaway for St Mirren. The Icelandic player on the ball once again. McEntee just steps into the St Mirren half, but is forced back from that press of the black and white stripes of the Buddies. Now this is Findlay. Left-footed cushion pass out on the touchline for Milne. You could just see Alan Hearts have got the ball just now, but that quick press that Stephen Robinson spoke about in his pre-match interview with Brian, just stopping Hearts from managing to get the ball forward into the front three.
Yeah, they can't get out, and it's all credit to Stephen Robinson and St Mirren. As soon as the Hearts player's on the ball, as the St Mirren playing right down his throat, they're trying to keep the ball, a bit more possession. Hearts go from side to side. Just got to be patient.
They are still here. Shanklin with some good work, gets it back to Magnuson. Now this is Kent moving forward, looking for a way into that final third. Magnuson once more has Devlin in the middle, who's asking for it. He's all alone. Touch and turn, the diagonal out to this left side. Hearts going from right to left. Milne whips in the deadly looking cross, and it's headed away. Phillips looking to win the race. Milne does so low in maroon. Kizaridis back into the penalty area. Milne goes to ground under the challenge from Fraser, who was strong. Phillips up against 2 Hearts players, runs out of space and awards the throw in to Heart of Midlothian. Just get a feeling, Stephen, that Hearts are maybe just starting to up it now.
They're certainly getting more possession of the ball, but not in any areas that are going to cause them any real trouble. The cross flashed in earlier, but I mean, for Gogic and Fraser and Freckleton, they'll defend their 6-yard box all day long from cross balls. They're going to need to be a wee bit more inventive. They've not managed to get their key players or their talented players on the ball in good areas, Hearts. So the possession's fine for St Mirren if it's going side to side.
Hearts on the ball through Frankie Kent in the back line. And this is Halkett. Halkett finding Findlay. Findlay now has space to move forward before Phillips will come to meet on the halfway line. Shanklin drops in with a diagonal run. His pass manages to find Kizaridis. It's back to Findlay once more, and again St Mirren with that energy, with that press. It's almost like Phillips joining a front three alongside Mandron and Ayunga, but Finlay has the ball once again. He tries to tease that one up the left side, but it goes out of play, and he offers the apology to Alexandros Kizaridis, and again Derek McInnes out on his technical area, screaming some instructions to the midfield, because Hearts are just struggling to settle. 23 minutes on the clock. St Mirren 0, Heart of Midlothian 0 in the League Cup round of 16.
It's bizarre, you're saying 23 minutes in, they're still trying to settle, and they are. Good goalkeeper, nice in camp. They've got away with that once or twice a season.
Shamal George just dropping the shoulder to evade the on-rushing forward line of Hearts, and St Mirren with that build-up from the left side. Bacchus on the ball now, moves it to the near side for Fraser. In that left to right direction, Richardson takes. Pass in field for Mandron. Was challenged at the heels by Cammy Devlin. Claims all around for the throw-in. It's St Mirren who awarded it. 24 minutes coming up. 0-0 here between St Mirren and Heart of Midlothian. And we are going to cross to the reporters at the other grounds throughout the course of this afternoon, but so far in the League Cup it's scoreless all round. St Mirren looking to change that now. Richardson takes it well on the head, but Ayunga was quite some distance away, but not enough to challenge Halkett for the ball. Hearts with a long pass forward, and there's only Gogic there to sweep up. Good communication between he and Shamal George as the Cypriot man takes it once again in defence. Bacchus back for Freckleton. He'll open up to that far side for O'Hara, who's facing his own goal. That's a dangerous little pass in field, but St Mirren get away with it. Phillips does so well under pressure there and gets the return from Mandron. There's a forward line of 4 for St Mirren to challenge the Hearts defence, but it's well defended by McEntee. He has the ball in the penalty area, far right side, and whips it forward. O'Hara takes it, just seems to be a magnet, the ball to St Mirren players at the moment. Finlay just with a heavy touch gives it away to Phillips, goes from distance, strong save Clark. There's still something there to be swept up, and the goal kick is awarded, but that was a big chance for St Mirren. Phillips with the drive, and then Mandron coming in at the far side of the penalty area. It was just a difficult one for him to take, Stephen Thompson, but you could hear the appreciation from the home support. Now know it remains. Yeah, but Hearts looking really poor defensively there. It's a shot, I suppose, from a good 25 yards out, and he caught it really sweetly along the grass, and in the goal, Xander Clark could only really palm it into the path, and it looked like Mandron was going to get on it, but they ended up defending the situation reasonably well. But Hearts on the ball, giveaways, and just I've been so disappointed by Hearts so far in this game. They're not coping at all well with St Mirren's application and pressure.
They're getting overrun in the middle of the park. Kabore and Kizaridis at the moment are giving the club nothing just now this afternoon. They're just passengers out there, they're just running. That seemed to be offside, I would have thought. Here's Mandron, play continues, flag stays down. That's a very floaty cross looking for Ayunga, but there's too much on it, and it'll roll out of play down to our right next to the corner flag for a Heart of Midlothian throw with 26 minutes played. 0-0 is the score, but it did look for a moment that Mandron may be offside. Yeah, Dell's giving the linesman pelters, because to me he looked a good yard and a half off, but linesman didn't get his flag up, so he's getting a wee bit of abuse from Derek. St Mirren manager asking his players to try and close Hearts in here, but Stuart Finlay, known from Oxford United, lines up the long throw. Allows the Hearts bodies to step forward, so St Mirren will join with them. The Hearts substitutes, you may be able to tell, warming up down at that corner flag to our right as the Claudio Braga song is belted out, as the Hearts supporters hope it does give some encouragement to the players that are on the pitch, with the little attacker named as a substitute this afternoon by Derek McInnes. O'Hara takes in the midfield. Mandron, lovely cushioned header, put over his head for the onrushing O'Hara. Hearts now on the ball as there's an opportunity here for Shanklin. Rolls to Kabore on that far right side, booed by the St Mirren support after that earlier collision with the Buddies goalkeeper George. Kabore still has it onto the left foot, thought about the shot, plays the pass to Magnuson. This looks a bit more promising from Hearts here. Milne for Kizaridis, onto it in the left wing, looking across the penalty area, can't take on Fraser, it's blocked, and it's out for Heart of Midlothian's first corner of the afternoon. 27.5 played, 0-0. Yeah, it's better play. Kabore involved into Devlin, out to Kizaridis, he wins a corner, and Hearts have been quite very potent so far this season from set plays. Saw that last weekend in the match against Dundee United on Sunday. Another victory for Heart of Midlothian, that one. It's Kabore who's across to take the corner down to our left.
will be the left-footed outswinger, but he does have Cammy Devlin lay the number 14 as a short option. He just points towards the penalty area. There's a number of bodies just behind the penalty spot, and both the black and white of St Mirren and the maroon and white of Hearts. It's floated towards the back post. Kent was up there well. Shankland looks to take it down. Back to goal, tries the overhead. There's three waiting. Magnuson doesn't get it on target. The flag raised in any case on the far side by the assistant, and it will remain on BBC Sports Sound's League Cup action this afternoon. St Mirren 0, Hearts 0.
There's a decent ball in. Just would sit down for Shankland. Back to goal. Tries the overhead kick. Magnuson's offside. Flag goes up straight away, but slightly better from Hearts. We certainly need more from the wider players. St Mirren are overrunning Hearts in the middle of the park.
Free kick for St Mirren to take. Update from League One. Cove Rangers 1, Montrose 1. Hamilton Academical are 1-0 up on East Fife, and Inverness Cally Thistle were 1-0 up against Stenhousemuir. Queen of the South and Peterhead is still 0-0. Action continues here in Paisley between St Mirren and Heart of Midlothian. Richardson just plays the ball into a space with his right foot inside the Hearts half for Mandron to chase. Hearts now get it long. Kizaridis and Shankland just fail to link up, and a smile on the face of Stephen Robinson, who looked like he was ready to receive that pass from Kizaridis there at the edge of his technical area. But slack play will allow St Mirren to come forward again. McEntee now for Hearts. It's been a bit scrappier in the last 5 or 6 minutes, with neither team really getting much comfortable possession. Ball in the air again. There's McEntee, forward for Magnuson, standing on the touchline far side. It's a lovely cute pass in for Devlin, right-footed. He'll roll it along just the Hearts side of the halfway line for Finlay. Mill now for Kizaridis, onto the right foot, has a look up, floats the cross into the box. It's headed by Gogic, and it almost made its way to Shankland, who lifts his hands in disbelief that he couldn't get something on that, but the ball goes behind for another Heart of Midlothian corner, their second of the game.
Much better from Hearts, starting in the right back area, coming across the pitch. Magnuson to Devlin, eventually Mount to Kizaridis, and he cuts inside with his right foot. You can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to bend it into that far corner, flicked away by St Mirren.
It's Milne to take. On that far side from our view, the top left corner rack, it will be a left-footed in-swinger. Finlay, Magnuson and Kent are all around. Kent looking to get there, a header over the crossbar. That's Craig Halkett, who just ghosted his way beyond the group of St Mirren bodies. Not quite sure how he caught it, as I only seen him as he was moving away, but it was over the crossbar, and it remains 0-0. Meanwhile, we do have a goal at Capello, so let's cross over to Billy Dodds.
Yeah, it's gone to the Dons, and it's quite straightforward. They've not had a great deal of opportunities in this game, a lot of possession, but they get a corner kick. Palaversa takes it, it's the in-swinger, and Sivert Nielsen runs right across the front area, flicks it, and it flies into the far corner. It's Morton 0, Aberdeen 1.
That's a big goal to take any pressure off of Aberdeen, and the supporters making their way down to Capello this afternoon. A difficult trip, but it's always a lot better as that away team. There's a bit of focus on you if you can go and take that first goal. Hearts not that far away from getting it here at St Mirren with that Craig Halkett header just moments ago. And it's now St Mirren looking to pose some questions of the Hearts defence, but it's an interesting battle in the middle, and Hearts come in top that time. Kizaridis tries a fancy pass forward, it's blocked by Fraser. Milne will feed it forward, but there's no one on that left wing, so George will let it run over for a St Mirren goal kick at 0-0. Just back to that Halkett chance, Alan Preston. That's something that Hearts will really take with the way they were building the game there to get the couple of corners that they did manage to get something towards goal, albeit not on target.
Yeah, it's such a big part of the modern game now, set plays. It was a good ball in from Milne. Halkett getting himself free at the back post, and he'll be quite disappointed actually.
Yeah, he should hit a target, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Finlay's header forward, only to Bacchus. St Mirren in possession. McInnes, the Hearts boss, throws his hands up in frustration. Here's Phillips looking to work away into the final third. Lovely bit of footwork away from Devlin. Play continues, advantage from the referee. St Mirren have it left side. Mandron just on the edge of the area now. Looks for Bacchus, has to move his feet quickly as Devlin's pressing. Bacchus keeps it in the middle. He's looking for an option. Phillips offers, but Hearts managed to swarm and win it back. But a poor pass from Kent. Bacchus goes down. The referee has a look and blows the whistle for the St Mirren free kick. It's just sloppy from Heart of Midlothian there.
Poor Kent, he's under no pressure. He tries to play the first time pass, just take a touch, and then Devlin dives in. He's not happy, Devlin. When is he ever happy, I suppose? Free kick to St Mirren, about 40 yards out.
It's quite central. This could be something that St Mirren can get the Jets going with again. Phillips is showing interest, as is Keanu Bacchus. I'm just wondering if this might be changed to a different angle as Marco Hara steps away to the far side. Stephen McLean drawing the white paint. Kevin Devlin was standing behind it, but decided to take a few steps over to share some words with the St Mirren midfielder Phillips. As time ticks on, approaching 33.5 on the clock. 0-0 here between St Mirren and Hearts. Phillips receives another option in John, and that's where the ball goes. It's short. John, left-footed cross, teases in. Gogic there! And it's a former Hibernian man with the big opening goal this afternoon in Paisley against Hearts. A St Mirren hero, a cult hero in Alex Gogic, who runs over to celebrate with the supporters on the far side. Hearts just didn't defend it. Gogic went to ground and hooked the ball into the back of the net. It's St Mirren 1, Hearts of Midlothian 0.
Well, we thought it was too straight to have a direct ball into the box. They changed it, a wee pass to Declan John. His in-swinging cross was brilliant, but what you have to say is, where were the Hearts defence? Gogic ghosts in between 2 or 3 of them and then hooks it home. Free, probably 6-7 yards out. Lovely finish from the big centre half, you've got to say, but from Hearts' point of view, from Derek McInnes's point of view, he will be disgusted with the marking.
Horrendous, absolutely horrendous. In between Halkett and Kent, they're both pointing the finger at each other, or marking space or whatever. Men score goals, not space. Really poor from Hearts, but I think it's summed up the opening half an hour. St Mirren have been the better side, deserve to be ahead. There's more appetite from them. I think Hearts have got their, at the moment, they seem to have their shape wrong. Certainly the personnel, and they could be down to 10 men in a minute.
Well, Magnus
he's got to come off.
Lifting the leg as Keanu Bacchus was moving forward to get on the ball. The St Mirren supporters knew what they were shouting for, immediately going onto their feet. There's a conversation being had by some of the St Mirren players with referee Stephen McLean.
Well, I tell you what, if he's not already in a booking, Stephen McLean books him. I think the only reason he's got away with that is because Stephen McLean knew he would have to send him off. I think Derek McInnes will be taking him off very soon. He's on his last warning.
He's got Benny Beningame out there that could come and play in there. Steinbrenner could come on, he could put McEntee into the middle of the park. He's got options, Derek. I think you're right, Stephen. The next challenge that he makes, he's off.
He shouldn't even have gone into the challenge. He knows he's on a yellow.
It just felt like one of those positions where he didn't need to either, but he made quite a rash decision. And all heads around the Smythe Stadium turned towards Stephen McLean, who controlled things, but a Icelandic midfielder making his first start after a sub-appearance in the league against Aberdeen. His first League Cup appearance, might not be on the pitch too longer. Hearts have a free kick now just inside the St Mirren half, but let's go back over to Billy Dodds, who's at Capello for Morton against Aberdeen.
Yeah, it's Aberdeen on easy street, and it was all too simple. It was Shaden Morris picking the ball up. He's playing on the left hand side today, cuts in, hits a shot, it's well saved by the goalkeeper, but then Iuchi gets on the byline, cuts it back, and the well talked about and publicised Yengi, he's there to tap it home from 5 yards into the empty net. It's Morton 0, Aberdeen 2.
Thanks, Billy. Big goal for Cassini Yengi at Capello. Hearts are looking to build in reply to that St Mirren goal from Alex Gogic, but the flag's up for offside against the Hearts man. And it's the St Mirren voices that you can hear echoing around the stadium now with 37 minutes almost played. St Mirren 1, Hearts 0. Let's cross over to McDermott Park, where Willie Miller is watching St Johnstone taking on Motherwell.
Yeah, it's a good game of football. It's Motherwell that really has dominated this first half so far. Not too many chances to speak about, but a fabulous run by the left back Longello down the left hand side. He was determined, he was powerful, big, tall, powerful left back, and he's got a really tight angle, and he drills it across the face of the goal. It beats Jordan goal, but then on the line is boys to clear it off the line. Basically, how he got it over the bar, I do not know. That's been the biggest chance of this afternoon. Listen, the football's great, it's pretty, they're passing it well. St Johnstone have been in the back foot, but very little in front of goals, very little in the penalty boxes, looking for more direct attacks, I would suggest, and the visitors very much in charge of this game, although it's still 0-0.
Thank you very much, Willie. St Mirren on the ball at the moment. Fraser with the diagonal out to the far side, but that one will go out of play into the stand opposite us for a Hearts throw. So let's get an update from Chick, who's at Firhill.
Yeah, still Partick Thistle 0, Ayr United 0, and Thistle fans must be scratching their heads thinking, why can that be? Because they've been much the better team throughout this first half. There have been chances for Tony Watt. Fantastic run with a lot of energy and pace, and finished with a shot that hit the post. He had the ball in the net, chalked off for offside, but the man who's lit up the first half, well, a couple of players actually, Ben Stanway and Sotinello Souza, who is an exciting talent, very comfortable on the ball, likes a dribble, likes to run, and he's lit up Firhill this afternoon. Thistle offering everything except a goal. Still 0-0 at Firhill.
Thank you, Chick. Here in Paisley, Heart of Midlothian have a throw on the far side. It's almost in line with the penalty area, so stepping forward again is Frankie Kent and Stuart Finlay, looking to level the score with St Mirren 1-0 up thanks to a goal from Alex Gogic. A long throw launched in towards Kent. It's well won in the air by Mandron. Hearts pick it up just outside the box. Kizaridis tried for the diagonal, but there could be a 3-on-3 here. St Mirren looking to get it forward too quickly in front of O'Hara, and Hearts will sweep it up. Here's Kizaridis one more. He won't make the mistake again of being dispossessed. Halkett now for Magnuson, discussing the Icelandic midfielder a few moments ago. We haven't seen Derek McInnes in his technical area. Just over 5 minutes to play until half time. His side are trailing by a goal to nil. Stephen Robinson still standing there in all blue clothes. He's screaming for every challenge, every movement on the pitch, as he always does. He'll be the happier manager at the moment with that 1-goal scoreline, thanks to Gogic. Findlay now inside his own half. Left-footed cushion pass onto the touchline for Milne. Kizaridis dropping in, but again forced away by Marcus Fraser. And that St Mirren back line. So Hearts just keeping the ball. Forward for McEntee. Again, his back is to goal, so he has to make his way back towards the Hearts defence. Kent does well to spot Devlin. He looks to put a cutter forward for Kabori to run onto. The sliding challenge. Kabori goes down. Hearts are claiming, and now the referee will go over, award the free kick and bring out the yellow card, and there is frustration all around the stadium. Stephen Robinson is storming away with the hands on the back of his head. Derek McInnes is out to the fourth official. This is a wild one in Paisley this afternoon. St Mirren still lead by a goal to nil. Just under 5 minutes to play until half time. Stephen Thompson, what did you make of that?
I think Declan John wins the ball. I don't know how much of a touch it is, but he gets a touch on it. I think
a referee's having one.
I think it's not a foul, and it's most definitely not a yellow card, and it's given Hearts a really good opportunity to put a ball in the box in a dangerous position.
It's right in front of the assistant as well.
Good point.
It doesn't do anything.
Could this be the lifeline that Hearts are looking for? St Mirren with everyone back to defend. The only player not around the penalty box or in it for Hearts is Cammy Devlin. Stands in front of the centre circle. As the referee comes across, there's more boos from the home support. This looks like Milne would take, but he leaves it for Kizaridis, right-footed high into the 6-yard area. The diving header there, I think it was Halkett, and he's taken a knock to the face. In the process of doing so, he's holding, and the St Mirren players are calling for medical attention. And the Hearts defender finding that space again in almost the same position as the header earlier in the half, where you thought he should have hit the target, Alan Preston. So that maybe is something that Hearts can look towards in the second half to get back in level terms.
Yeah, they seem to split and try and isolate Halkett on his own. I think it's Gogic just swim.
Well, we've got a break in play here that's crossed to Chickett for Hill.
Thistle have got the goal they deserved, and it's Danny O'Reilly with the header at the far post. Ball came in, it was a corner kick. It'd been tremendous pressure from Tony Watt, hanging on to the ball, great skills inside the box. They win a corner, put across, and eventually Danny O'Reilly with a looping header beyond the goalkeeper David Mitchell, former Thistle goalie, and he's just been booked to the delight of the Thistle fans. It's Thistle 1, Ayr United 0.
So many storylines across the League Cup this afternoon. Another one there at Firhill. And the only game in this round played today without a goal is in Perth between St Johnstone and Motherwell now. And Craig Halkett is still receiving attention.
Must be a sore one. I mean, he stooped so low to get the header, and when Killian Phillips goes to try and clear it, you know, it's not high feet because Halkett's gone so low to try and header the ball, and I think Killian Phillips, after he kicked the ball, has melted him in the face. So this could be a problem for Derek McInnes.
all-seeing, all-knowing engineer Martin's just told me there's a nasty cut on the left eye, so that's what's requiring the attention from the medical team. And Craig Halkett, he took a bit of an injury last week up at Tannadice as well in the league game, Alan. There was a bit of concern of what would happen with his history. I mean, Derek McInnes has spoke about his fitness this season. He's done so well in the summer to get himself in tip-top shape, and it just feels like with the couple of moments he's had in the last couple of games that things might be going against him, but he shook that one off last Sunday to continue, and hoping to do so again here for a big second half that's coming up.
Well, the good thing is if it is a cut and it has to come off, it's not going to be out for a long period of time, and and it's not physically going to help hinder him in any way. And I also think that Derek might change anyway at half time. He might put Steinvender on, go to a flat 4 anyway, and look at taking Magnuson off because of his yellow. Yeah, he certainly has. It has. They need more from the wider players. Kabore, Kizaridis, they certainly need more. I think Lawrence is better with a partner, someone closer to him. These two hog the touchline, so there's no one really getting close. Magnuson's the one that's trying to do it with Devlin in there. Devlin's always going to be the sitter, so I think it might be a little change of shape personnel for Derek at half time.
There's a bandage around the head of Halkett. He's now up, running off the pitch, holding the left side of his head with some extra padding. Derek McInnes did change things at half time when his side were trailing 2-1 last weekend, with Frankie Kent and Alan Forrest going off. Kizaridis and Steinvender came on, so will there be changes made again? And make it just over 30 seconds till the 45 are up, but we have had quite a few stoppages in this first half, a couple of injuries and the goal scored, so we'll see what time is added on by the fourth official. McEntee looking to move forward, but the sliding challenge from Iunga is an inch perfect one, and Hearts are just under pressure on that far side. And St Mirren really have them on the ropes at the moment. Phillips is going down, and he's rolling around in agony. And Hearts continue play. Stephen McLean not interested, and now will pause things. But this is really boiling over. There have been a couple of decisions in the game that have been contentious ones, to say the least, from Stephen McLean, and that's not making either set of supporters happy, and is in danger just at the end of this first half of potentially losing control of it on the pitch. Stephen?
Yeah, I don't think it's a particularly a foul or anything. I just think he really has twisted his knee going into the challenge. He looks in a lot of discomfort, but again, the pressing from St Mirren is absolutely top draw. Manjon, O'Hara, then Phillips, absolutely snapping at the heels of the Hearts players who are under massive pressure and forcing mistakes. But he goes to go into this tackle and he just kind of spun really awkwardly.
But I think that St Mirren are showing the appetite and the desire in the game that Hearts are not showing, and haven't showed in this opening 45 minutes. This is the 5 minutes he's added on at the end of this first half. It's been poor from Hearts. Have been up front. St Mirren have held the three Hearts centre backs comfortably. They've ran off the back of them at times. They've obviously scored the goal with Gogic running off the back of the two of them, Halkett and Kent. Middle of the park, Devlin and Magnuson have been absolutely overpowered in there, and it's been easy for the Hearts, for the St Mirren back four. It really has. It's been simple for them.
In all action, Killian Phillips is back on his feet and off on the far side from the treatment. Signed for St Mirren permanently in the summer after last season's loan spell, and looks very much at home under Stephen Robinson again for the Republic of Ireland international. He earned his first caps back in June. Only 23-year-old, and sometimes the way he plays, and it's hard to remember that because he's got such experience in a number of years now in Scottish football, with his previous time at Aberdeen too. Hearts on the attack, looking to change something in those 5 added minutes, and Milner's winning. What a corner. There's disappointment from the St Mirren defence, but Stephen McLean very certain of the decision. Kabore will come across to take now. Hearts will pack that penalty box once more. Is there a late first half injury time leveller this afternoon? St Mirren again with everyone back. It's left now for Kizaridis to take. He's going to try the right-footed in-swinger. So he replaces the ball on the corner arc. Kabore goes to join the crowd of maroon around the penalty spot. It's high towards the back post, the header, and that may have just clipped the crossbar or the top of the netting, and it looked like Findlay who'd made his way around the back post, and he slams the ground in frustration, and he maybe feels like he should be doing better there. It remains St Mirren 1, Hearts 0.
But that's been Hearts' best opportunity to get back in the game. You know, we've seen it recently when Halkett takes a kick to the face. His effort, he's had the header just over as well, with the Shanklin overhead kick from a set play, and then that one for Findlay.
It was a difficult one, wasn't it?
It was difficult, but it's their only opportunity.
Yeah, they're not creating from open play, 100%.
Goal kick. There's a free kick, so we'll cross over to check at Firhill. There's another update for us.
Oh, what a goal I've just witnessed. Logan Chalmers dances in from the right hand side onto that favoured left foot, and from 25 yards he's just hit a low shot beyond David Mitchell in the Ayr United goal. Former Thistle goalie, he's been booked, so too in the last few moments is Stuart Bannigan. It's a fun day all round for Thistle fans. Their ex-players booked and their team 2-0 ahead and heading towards half-time. What a goal that was by Logan Chalmers. It is at half-time just about. Partick Thistle 2, Ayr United 0.
Current goals for Chick Young at Firhill. Meanwhile, here in Paisley, St Mirren have a free kick. Pierre Landry Cabori now in the book. A yellow card shown by the referee. Now St Mirren are looking to increase their advantage for the half-time interval. Half-time at Capello. Aberdeen 2-0 up. Ball sent towards the back post. Freckleton was there just trying to catch it on the volley, but he was unable to get any clean contact, and Hearts survived that one.
But they need half-time, Hearts. Hearts certainly need half-time.
It's half-time at Firhill now too, so Chick Young will be able to catch a breath there with all the action he's seen in the first half. Is there time left? Just a minute of the 5 additional signalled here as Harry Milne steps into the St Mirren half. He's looking for Devlin, does well to work away from Bacchus. Tricky feet, plays the through ball, but it's near no one, and George will take and just waste an extra few seconds before picking up the ball. We'll get it back onto the ground, and St Mirren will move up a little bit. Just about 30 seconds left to go in this first half. Very, very comfortable position on the scoreline for Stephen Robinson, but he'll know there's a big 45 minutes ahead in the second half. Jayden Richardson shields the ball over for a throw-in. St Mirren think about attacking from the midway point in Hearts territory. Fraser on the ball now, and he'll leave it for Bacchus, who's going long. Ayunga steps into the penalty area. Phillips will get closer to it, and Richardson will also join. Look at the watch from the referee, Stephen McLean. Bacchus launches it towards the front post. That's headed away. The touchdown into the 6-yard area, and Xander Clark will sweep up. Half-time at McDermott 2. It's 0-0 between St Johnstone and Motherwell. Is there opportunity for one final Hearts attack? Kent, diagonal long, right-footed, headed away by Fraser. He deals with that one. Magnuson runs onto it. One of the Hearts players on a booking. Kizaridis, left touchline. And there's the challenge from Richardson, coming across with a strong left leg. The ball goes out for a Hearts throw. Time still rolls on after the 5 additional played here in Paisley. Finlay can't get it forward. Another look at the watch from the referee. Halkett with the bandaged head now out to Kent. He drills it forward. Cabori takes back to goal, looking for McEntee. But Hearts just can't find a way through the St Mirren bodies. And the whistle in the mouth of referee Stephen McLean, and the man in the middle blows for half-time. The Hearts supporters unhappy, but the St Mirren supporters on their feet applauding, specifically looking at Alex Gogic sweeping in the only goal of the game so far in what has been a breathless first half in the League Cup round of 16 meeting between St Mirren and Heart of Midlothian. Some questions for Derek McInnes at the interval if his side are looking to continue their perfect start to this season. Half-time at the Spicer Stadium. It's St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 0.
The Scottish League Cup.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. So the half-time scores in the Premier Sports Cup: Morton 0, Aberdeen 2, Partick Thistle 2, Ayr United 0, St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 0, and in our commentary match coming from Paisley, St Mirren 1, Heart 0. Our second commentary comes this evening from Ibrox. Rangers at home to Alloa Athletic. That one kicks off at 5:45. Half-time scores in League One today: Cove Rangers 2, Montrose 1. Montrose down to 10 men. Hamilton Accies 1, East Fife 0. Inverness Cally Thistle 1, Stenhouse Muir 1, Queen of the South 1, Peterhead 0. And in League 2, the half-time scores: Clyde 1, Spartans 2, Dumbarton 0, Elgin City 1, East Kilbride 1, Stranraer 0, Edinburgh City 0, Annan Athletic 2, Forth Athletic 2, Stirling Albion 1. And in England today there was a lunchtime kick-off. It finished Aston Villa 0, Newcastle United 0, 3 games kicking off at 3 o'clock. Brighton 0, Fulham 0, Sunderland 0, West Ham 0 and Tottenham Hotspur 1, Burnley 0. 5:30 start. Wolves at home to Manchester City. We'll get the thoughts of Julie Fleeting and Richard Foster just shortly, but let's get round the grounds, get a bit more detail. So let's go to our commentary match. It's been quite eventful in the first half. St Mirren at home to Hearts. Let's get the half-time report from our reporter there, Stuart Mitchell.
Yes, St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 0 at half-time at the Smythe Stadium. St Mirren starting very strongly at home and really had Hearts rattled in the opening stages. Killian Phillips setting the tone with some early challenges. And it was St Mirren who were looking to make the clearer breakthrough. There was almost a chance for Ayunga in the 6-yard area, but a very important intervention from Craig Halkett sliding to send the ball away and denying any goal-scoring opportunity to come about. Hearts pressed but really couldn't find much in the final third. There's been a lot of tasty challenges in this one too, with 2 bookings for Hearts and 1 for St Mirren in that first half. And a couple of headers from Craig Halkett, who's wearing a bandage now after a nasty head knock, but couldn't find the target. And the opening goal was scored by Alex Gogic. The free kick sent forward from the middle, and it was almost a striker's finish from the Cyprus international as he went to ground and hooked the ball with his right foot. Xander Clark had no chance with the pace in it, and it was delight for the St Mirren fans around the stadium, taking a lead against a team with momentum in Derek McInnes's Hearts, who come into this one winning all 6 of their competitive games so far. An opportunity for Stuart Finlay late in the half with a header, but again he couldn't find the target, and that's a bit of a story for Derek McInnes's side, as they haven't tested Shamal George in that first half at all. We wait to see if there's any changes at half time, as there was an interesting incident when Thomas Magnuson, who's making his first start for Hearts this afternoon, already on a booking, brought down a St Mirren player with a high challenge in the centre circle, but there was no second yellow shown by the referee, Stephen McLean. So does that pose a question to the Hearts boss at half time? We're at the Smythe Stadium at St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 0.
Full second half commentary to come from that one. Next up, Capello. Morton at home to Aberdeen. There for us, Billy Dodds.
Yeah, Kenny, plenty looking here to Capello for a shock today, but it doesn't look as if it's going to happen. There wasn't much in the game early on, 11 minutes before the first opportunity, when Jensen cut down the right hand side into the box, and his cutback looked as if it was going to fall to Yengi, but it was booted clear, a brilliant clearance. Morton, well, it took them 22 minutes to muster something, and it was a penalty claim. O'Halloran took it in the right hand side, drove in and hit a cross. It hit Malloy's arm, definitely hit his arm, and he was just inside the box, but it was by side, and I didn't think it was a penalty, and neither did Matthew McDermott, the referee. It was a blow to Morton halfway through that first half when Adaloy had to go off and Taylor had to come on, so they've lost a bit of attacking threat as well. And the Dons were pressing 28 minutes. Dorrington, something different. It was getting pretty boring in terms of chances created. He did something different. Dorrington had a mazy run inside the box, and it broke to Morris, and he hit a brilliant half volley that was again a brilliant block from Delaney. Just after the half hour mark though, the deadlock was broken. It was too simple from a Morton point of view, but Aberdeen, it was a well worked set piece, and in swinging Palaversa corner, Nielsen hit the front post. He just glanced it and it flew into the far corner to put Aberdeen 1-0 up. Then 8 minutes from half time, it was 2-0. It was Morris with a run and then a shot. Iuchi redeemed it and got it from the byline, cut it back to the much spoken about Yengi, who tapped it into the empty net from 5 yards to get his Dons goal scoring career up and running. Mitov not worked. The Dons have struck twice. A nice stroll in the sun so far for the Dandies. Half time at Capello, it's Morton 0, Aberdeen 2.
Yeah, the Dons going along very nicely there, thanks to Billy Dodds. Next stop, McDermott Park, St Johnstone at home to Motherwell. Let's get the half time report from Willie Miller.
Again, if you're a football purist and you like to see the ball on the ground and getting slick passes around by both sides, and this is a place to be. If you're one that likes excitement and goalmouth incidents, you're better being somewhere else, because that has been the story of the first half. And I have to say that the visitors have been by far the better side. Created 2 or 3 little half chances, nothing too major. Neither goalkeeper has been really tested. The first opportunity came for Motherwell, Stephen O'Donnell, from a corner kick, and I felt he should have done better. He wasn't really challenged, he wasn't under too much pressure, caught it well with the forehead. I think he was just trying to be too cute to put it inside the post, where maybe Power was a better decision for him to make, and it just slipped by the outside of the post. Longello did extremely well driving down. It's a big, powerful left back and very difficult to control. Some good skill as well. He drives down the left hand side, he goes into the box, he drills this one across the face of the goal, and I don't know how Morgan Boy's managed. He keeps it out, but he puts it over the bar. He's facing his own goal. You think that's going to be a nightmare for a defender, but he somehow manages to almost on the byline, managed to flick the ball up over the crossbar. That was a big opportunity for Motherwell. And then they had another chance. Elliot Watt, it was the left hand side again, very prominent. He drills the ball across the face of the goal. There's plenty of bodies there, but no takers for Motherwell. Just before half time, St Johnstone had the best chance of the game, but it falls to Diabate, the big centre back, and he does what every centre back does when it falls to him inside the box, balloons it over the bar. Big opportunity for him to give the home side the lead, but he didn't take it. That's why at half time here, Kenneth McDermott is goalless.
Yeah, brilliant there from Willie. He's talking about the centre backs and their execution in the opposition box. So not a classic in Perth, but it sounds like a really decent game at Firhill this afternoon. Partick Thistle at home to Ayr United. Let's hear from Chick Young.
Oh, it's better than decent, Kenny. If Brewers made football fans happy, and actually they do, then Thistle fans would be high as kites this afternoon. They've had a terrific first half. The lead by 2-0 early from Danny O'Reilly. It wasn't that early, it was 40 minutes. And then just before half time, fantastic goal from Logan Chalmers, dancing into the right foot, the right side, puts on his left foot, puts a low shot beyond David Mitchell, and that's another reason why the Jags fans are happy, because their two ex-players, Stuart Bannigan and David Mitchell, currently play for Ayr United, have both been booked, and of course that has got an excellent riposte from the Jags fans gathered around Firhill this afternoon. They've been terrific. This is well worthy of their lead. Some outstanding performances. Ben McPherson, Tony Watt has been just terrific. He could have had 2 goals. In fact, he had the ball in the net. It was ruled off for offside, and he had a really powerful run from just over the halfway line, taking on the Ayr United defence, kept going, got inside the box and released a shot which came off the goalkeeper's left-hand post. That actually eventually led to the corner from which they got the goal. That was a header from O'Reilly. So great performance for them, but for me, as I said, Ben McPherson been outstanding. So too has Letsosa, who's a real fine, wonderful player to watch. Dancing runs, so comfortable, a good old-fashioned dribbler of the ball with great pace as well. They try to have a go at him, he just bounces up again, keeps getting back in the game. Good to watch, all-round terrific performance from Partick Thistle. Although I have to say, I'm talking about an all-round performance, I can't remember Josh Clark having to do anything in goals for Mark Wilson's side. So Scott Brown, I'm sure, will be in there trying to motivate his side. It's been a poor start to the season for them, of course, and Partick Thistle looked a shadow of the team that was performing so well at the start of this competition. They lost, of course, a real doing at McDermott Park from St Johnstone, but today they're back in their old League Cup form. They really have been terrific and had a standing ovation from the support as they went off at half time. So it's O'Reilly and Chalmers with the goals, and Partick Thistle's fans with the happiness. It's scoreline here at half time at Firhill is Partick Thistle 2, Ayr United 0.
On BBC iPlayer,
a bottlenose dolphin mother showing her calf the skills necessary for survival, and she does so through play.
Parenting in the wild isn't all child's play.
This elephant matriarch has kept her family alive throughout 2 years of drought. This is a chance for a mother to demonstrate good trunk technique.
Parenthood with David Attenborough. Watch all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Premier Sports Cup action for you this afternoon. Let's start then with that Coventry game. St Mirren, Julie, ahead at home to Hearts. Hearts not really been at it, what we've seen here and listening to the guys in the commentary. St Mirren much more like themselves this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think we talked about the quality of Hearts so far this season, and they haven't really lived up to it. I think St Mirren started the game the better side. I think they pressed really aggressively at unsettled Hearts. They seemed to have control of the midfield, and they certainly had the better of the opportunities. The one that they did convert. It was a brilliant finish. From a St Mirren point of view, it came from a set play, and as the ball dropped to Gogic, he had bags of time, lots of space, which will be disappointing from a Hearts point of view, but he still had an awful lot to do, and his finish was absolutely brilliant. But I think in the Hearts dressing room they'll be extremely disappointed with the performance, with the manner in which they lost the goal, but more importantly the lack of kind of creativity and the fact that they really didn't show any signs of getting themselves in front, or certainly getting themselves back into the game.
Yeah, you'd have to say that the Hearts players, I'm sure, will get a rocket up them at half-time. Richard, we know the standards that the manager Derek McInnes sets. We spoke about Aberdeen before the game. It looked a bit of a test for them down at Carpolo today, but as Billy's been telling us, very comfortable.
Well, you say that, but Morton are better when they're 2-0 down. So the tie's really poised. No, I think from what we've seen here, they've controlled the entire game. They've went about their business in the right manner. There's not been a lot of chances in the game. There haven't been a lot of chances, but there's been a lot of control from Aberdeen. They've attacked down the flanks. They've got the ball into the box. They've made Morton defend. They've made Morton chase, just by simply keeping the ball. And they've Morton haven't really offered anything. Losing Adloy halfway through the half is obviously I think it's made Morton weaker. But I think it's been a real professional performance from Aberdeen. Now, trust me, I've been on the end of most of Aberdeen's cup losses to lower league opposition, and they're really, really difficult. But to full credit to Aberdeen, because they've went about this in the right way, and Yengi got his goal as well. So hopefully that sparks him into life from an Aberdeen perspective.
Yeah, it's great to see for him. We spoke about his confidence, how he must be suffering, but he's got himself a goal today. I'm sure he'll build on that. Julie, the disappointing game, of course, is one that Willie's at, the one at McDermott Park. Two sides like to get the ball down and play, but Willie said a real lack of opportunities up there.
Yeah, I think we were disappointed by Motherwell in that respect last weekend as well. Lots of decent possession, good football inside, like to play passes, but it's that final third that's key, and they didn't really create an awful lot last week, and it doesn't sound as if they've done so this afternoon either, so that's a bit of a concern. St Johnstone on the other side of it have been extremely successful, scored plenty of goals up against good opposition in the Championship, so going into this game I think they would be confident that they could cause an upset, and that they could certainly put a goal or two by Motherwell, but by the sounds of things it hasn't been the most exciting in terms of goal-mouth action. Yeah, and in contrast, as Chick was telling us, an absolute belter at Firhill. Partick Thistle in control of that one, 2-0 at home to Ayr United. So just a reminder, we have a second commentary of the day coming for you at 5:45. Full coverage, Rangers against Alloa Athletic, and the draw will take place after that. You'll hear it on Sportsound, so stay tuned. The quarter-final draw for the Premier Sports Cup. I can see there are changes taking place in Paisley. St Mirren home to Hearts. Let's get back to Stephen Thompson, Alan Preston and Stuart Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Yeah, plenty for us to have a look at for the start of the second half. Hearts making a triple change with Derek McInnes making a couple of big calls. One we are expected to see with Thomas Magnuson being replaced. Alexandros Kizaridis and Pierre-Landry Kabori look to be the other two, I think. So the two yellow-carded players going off, and on for Hearts, Claudio Braga, Elton Kabangu, and the one called by Alan Preston with Benny Beningame coming into the middle. And St Mirren also making a change with their yellow-carded player Declan John being replaced by Scott Tanzer. So I think that tells you plenty about the way both managers have seen the first half and see the second 45 moving forward in this massive clash in the round of 16 of the League Cup on this Saturday afternoon on BBC Sports Sound. The score currently 1-0 to St Mirren, the home team courtesy of centre-back Alex Gogic sweeping the ball home for the Buddies in the first half. It will be St Mirren to take kick-off, and they will be shooting from right to left into their home support, wearing the black and white stripes with the white shorts and black trim. Heart of Midlothian going from left to right into their travelling support, left to right, wearing the maroon tops with the white shorts. And Killeen Phillips gets the ball rolling for what could be a big second half. Hearts, remember, coming into this one with momentum, winning 6 competitive straight matches, but St Mirren, who haven't really scored in their 2 league games, so far in the Premiership, but with a good defensive record since those League Cup group stages, getting that opening goal through Gogic. And it's St Mirren on the attack now, left side. Ayunga rolls the ball in his studs, cuts in on the right foot, finds O'Hara, the captain, out to Tanser, first touch, hooks in a right-footed cross. Halkett has to deal with it. He's got a little bit less of a bandage on now than he did in the first half, but it still might be tricky. Oh, lovely Rabona cross from Killian Phillips. He is really feeling it this afternoon and has been since the very first second. Halkett has to swipe that one away from Mikael Mandron. Gogic wins the header, and here's a first touch for the Hearts midfielder, Benny Beningame. He sends it long looking for Braga. Gogic cuts it out. Tanser, heavy touch up to his head, tries to hook it. Beningame wins it. Braga wins the header now. Kabangu goes down. Was there a nudge in the back from Gogic? A scream towards the referee, who points to the ball and allows play to continue. Shamal George has it, and the score remains in the side. A first minute that started just like the first half played out. St Mirren 1, Hearts 0.
Yeah, St Mirren starting to brighter again in this second half. You can clearly see, and Alan pointed it out in the first half, the wide players for Hearts were not getting involved at all. Lawrence Shanklin needed help up front with him. That's now happened with Braga going up there, but well, he's not actually. He's probably playing to the right and Kabangu's to the left, so they've not really altered the system too much. But clearly Derek McInnes not happy with the performance of his wide players, front players.
Another Hearts player needing some treatment. It's Stuart Finlay at the moment, who went down in quite a collision just inside the Hearts half. He's sitting up now as he gets attended to by the medical team, but there's a conversation happening under the collar of the jersey of the Hearts medical team, and that's been passed on in the technical area. Derek McInnes hasn't come out to the technical area since leaving the tunnel at half time. Stuart Finlay is now on his feet, and he's slowly making his way off to that far side. And after those 3 changes, Derek McInnes will not want to make another so early in the second half, with only 2.5 minutes played and his side chasing the game. So Hearts will watch as St Mirren take the free kick and Finlay comes back onto the pitch. Shanklin tries to lead the press in maroon on Alex Gogic. His ball is high into the Paisley sky towards Bacchus. Mandron brings it down, looks central. O'Hara's there. Quick first time pass back to Mandron. Tidy play from the buddies. Tanser has it, cuts inside. Ball on the left foot, right footed pass. Mandron with the hook. Phillips tries to return. Halkett stands almost as a one-man wall to stop the ball from getting through, but St Mirren have it again. O'Hara with an early cross. Halkett steps out left footed. It drops to Phillips. Shot towards goal, and it's pushed away by Xander Clark. And that's a very big save, because it looks like the Hearts goalkeeper may have been wrong footed as he was making away across to this near side, and had to step back to the far side and pushes the ball around the post for an early second half St Mirren corner. It remains 1-0 to St Mirren.
Yeah, St Mirren playing really, really well, and the ball eventually, after a few ricochets, falls to Killian Phillips at the edge of the box. He catches it okay, but I think you're right. I think Xander Clark was heading in the opposite direction, had to change completely to turn it round the post, but St Mirren have got the corner.
Phillips to take far side, top left of the pitch. It will be the out swinging right delivery. Clark comes out, he manages to get Knuckles to that to punch it away, and Shanklin's clearance goes up rather than along. And now Phillips in a battle of strength with Braga and Shanklin, but it's the double team of Hearts that wins, and there's a foul on Braga, and the referee will point, and he'll just take a few seconds to try and slow things down and regain that control, but he's not interested in having a word.
Is there any difference between that one and the one in the first half?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, it's not been a great afternoon so far for Stephen McLean.
There's a long 40 minutes still to be played in this hotly contested League Cup tie. Kabangu takes, Braga runs onto it, he's looking for a way past the defence, he's still going into the 6-yard area, but heavy touch, it was maybe off the left thigh, and it just showed enough to Shamal George to have fire in his toes to come out and take the ball away off the Hearts attacker. But already there's an energy there in that front three with Braga that wasn't maybe there in the first half, as Hearts look for a leveller in this game. 1-0 it remains to St Mirren on BBC Sports Sound.
Yeah, it's a ball of energy. Braga's running about him. It's infectious as well, and I just hope that the rest of them join in, because that first half was insipid, to be honest, from Hearts. St Mirren thoroughly deserved to be ahead.
McEntee back for Kent. A look towards Xander Clark, his goalkeeper. Long with the right foot over the halfway line towards McEntee, who's up to battle with Tanser. It's the St Mirren man Scott Tanser who wins the header. Now Phillips has it in the centre circle. Fraser, right side of that back three for St Mirren. He'll jog towards the halfway line. He'll just open up his body position to see all of the pitch and go back to Gogic, his partner. Freckleton now, left-footed, drills it forward, finding Mandron, who picks up a lovely position again to hold up. O'Hara runs onto it, but Beningame is showing that intensity in the challenge to win the ball back. But just really hard, similarly to the first half, can't provide to the front area. Beningame picks up a loose ball. Devlin, McEntee waits and now carries it forward on the right wing. Hearts, remember, shooting into their travelling support, gets the cross but is blocked in the end by Tanser, and it's now Hearts who have their first corner of the second half. 1-0 St Mirren it stays.
And as you see with the game, Hearts playing 3 up front, St Mirren playing 2. The rest of it's a match-up, so Phillips is the spare one in the middle of the park for St Mirren. He's the one that's getting on the ball more than most, and Hearts have got a problem with him. But here's an opportunity for Harry Mount to bend it in with his left foot. They've been reasonably successful with set plays, have been getting headers.
Halkett's had a couple, Finley's had one. It's towards the back, Finley's around, he claims another corner, but the referee will have a look towards his assistant, and the communication is a St Mirren goal kick, so Hearts not able to make that one. Cause trouble for the home side like they did with a few in the first half, but still with only 6.5 minutes on the second half clock, it still looks like their best opportunity of getting an equaliser. And now we do see Derek McInnes take a couple of steps out to the technical area as he asks the fourth official why that wasn't a corner to his side. Jamal George in the centre of the goal steps up to take the goal kick, right footed, clears the halfway line. The aforementioned man of Killian Phillips looked interested, as Alan Preston said, but Cammy Devlin did really well to just rise behind and win the header, and he just communicates for Hearts to settle down. Kent has the ball, looks for McEntee, he'll open it up and come jogging across the halfway line. O'Hara there to meet, he just gets his body in front of the Hearts man, the ball runs out of play. St Mirren throw.
Doesn't look comfortable for me, McEntee, in the game.
He's a central midfield player, haven't Hearts have got a problem, and have had for many a year in that right back area. Since Michael Smith first came, they've not really got a right back for any repute that's come in there.
With that injury, meaning Forrester was recalled from that cooperation loan with St Johnstone, there was a suggestion that Steinbender could play on that side as well, because he's comfortable in the wide areas, as Derek McInnes says, when he plays in the defensive line as centre back for Hearts. He was one that came on in the league last weekend, but it's still the same option on that right side, but a change forward with Braga peeling out there at times, and now Milne will look to play the ball forward, but I think Braga may be coming back from an offside position there, so nothing made of it. St Mirren throw, and both managers are stepping out onto the touchline of the pitch, screaming instructions to their sides. Derek McInnes is pointing to the kind of wide areas, it seems. It just feels like he's maybe not happy with the speed the ball's getting forward at times for his players. It's thrown into the middle by St Mirren. Mandron has been so involved as well in that central area, some delicate touches and just linking up the play beautifully for the Buddies. Here's Tanser, can't take on McEntee. St Mirren throw. Down towards Ayunga. He'll hold with 2 at his back in maroon. Takes it towards the corner. Pass back for Tanser. Infield for O'Hara. Drills it across edge of the box. His Bacchus is blocked by Halkett, and that's a few times he's had to do that in the second half already. Phillips looks to sweep the ball high out to the far right side, but puts too much pace in it, and it goes out for a Heart of Midlothian goal kick. It remains St Mirren 1, Hearts 0.
St Mirren with the appetite.
Yeah, I'd agree. And again, it's Mirren getting efforts and goal. I mean, Hearts have not had a shot on target in the game, and that just about sums them up. They've been toothless in forward areas. I don't think the players are particularly comfortable with the system, and they're really struggling to create.
It's almost 10 minutes played in the second half with the substitutions made, the triple substitution by Derek McInnes at half time. It's his goalkeeper Xander Clark that has the ball just now. It's played back to him and he swipes it away strongly with the right foot. Braga takes it just in the central area of the St Mirren half, tries to stab the pass forward. Fraser picks up an interception. Beningame runs onto the ball, slides it through for Kabangu. He's on the left side of the penalty area. There's 3 in the box. There's a couple arriving on the edge. The cross is only to Marco Harlow in St Mirren colours, and Phillips can just nod the ball on towards Mandron. Hearts sweep up. It's been played at such a pace this game, even in the second half, as you'd expect possibly with Hearts chasing the game. Kabangu onto it. Fraser goes to ground and slides the ball out for a Hearts throw on the far side. Over 10 minutes played in the second half. It's 1-0 to St Mirren.
And Hearts will send the big guys up. Kent goes up, Halkett's going up as well. Mullen's got the long throw in. They need to get runners off it. Very static Hearts at the moment. They need to try and get somebody running off this throw, and if it can be won.
6 around the penalty area. Milne thought about it, delays, and now runs. Throws it again to the front of the 6-yard area. Fraser into a dangerous area that's cleared away by Bacchus. Now Finlay has it. Devlin, space and time to turn. Out to the left, far side, Harry Milne. Former Partick Thistle man with the step over, crosses, and it goes behind the byline and out for a St Mirren goal kick. And Derek McInnes, I'm just looking towards the technical area, slowly pacing around that territory, has his arms folded. He's not happy with what he's watching, and neither are the Hearts supporters behind the goal to our right. We're hoping for a bit more of an impact from his substitutions inside this first 10 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, it's certainly been lacklustre from so far, almost an hour into the game that we've played, and it's been poor.
Hard to see where a Hearts goal is going to come from.
If you are joining us late on BBC Sports Sound, we have reporters around the grounds of the League Cup games as Kabangu looks to run onto a ball in behind the St Mirren defence. Fraser goes to ground, ball still in play. Kabangu takes, he just delays the pass for Shanklin. Now he crosses high towards the back, and it's there from Tanzer to just get something on it, to nod it out for a throw. And let's cross over to Billy Dodds at Capello quickly.
Yeah, still very much the same, Stuart. I mean, Morton have come into it a little bit, had a couple of attempts at goal, but never really worked the goal. Here's a chance. Ian Wilson caught in the ball, Keskin straight through, comes to Uchi, Fletcher Boyd, hit the strike, blocked away, should have been 3-0, but Morton they did come into it, but Aberdeen nearly got a third there, still 2-0.
Thanks, Billy. Long throw from McEntee for Hearts. It's headed away by Mandron, who comes back and does a wonderful job defensively with his height. Recycle back out, McEntee, dangerous looking cross, header down, that goes wide. But that's a better opportunity for Heart of Midlothian. And Elton Kabangu, the Belgian attacker, on at half-time. A goal scorer in his time already, but it was just difficult for him to find the body position to get it on target. And it remains St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian now. Alan Preston.
McEntee's cross, it was going away from Kabangu there, and he's got to come out to header it back down. He's never going to be on target, never going to cause the goalkeeper of St Mirren, Jamal George, any problems whatsoever.
St Mirren goal kick. Let's cross over to Willie at McDermott Park.
Yeah, pretty much the same, although I would say that Motherwell have now got complete dominance in this second half. They've dominated the ball. They haven't had too many opportunities. A big shout for a penalty though, and I must have sympathy for the Motherwell fans. It looked as though Stephen O'Donnell was brought down inside the box as he tried to control it, but the referee decided it was a dive by the experienced defender and gave him a yellow card. One other opportunity, a 20-yard strike from Eli Just was well saved. An opportunity here though, as Motherwell go through just in front of goal, and it's still on. The big left back has had the strike at goal, but it's well saved. So yet again another opportunity for the only team that's really played in the second half, but nothing came of it. Still 0-0 here, but Motherwell are really dominant and look as though if they could find a goal scorer that they could take this tie.
Thanks, Willie. There's a chance for Shankland, and it's taken by Shamal George. He just lets it drop before picking it up. And just while we were getting that update from Willie at McDermott, there was a bit of a penalty claim from the St Mirren fans who were watching a challenge on Ayunga by Frankie Kent, but the referee not interested, and the score remains here in Paisley. St Mirren 1, Hearts 0. But just within that last 5 minutes, Derek McInnes' side creeping towards a couple of chances, but still nothing really with conviction on target for the Jambos to celebrate or cheer for some encouragement. Kent on the ball, forward for McEntee now. Tanzer just closing down that space, but as well clipped by McEntee. They've got the distance but not the direction. Couldn't find Kabangu. The ball is out for a St Mirren throw for Freckleton to take. We'll look to get an update for all the Partick Thistle and Ayr United fans listening from Chick in just a few moments at Firhill, but We'll just stick with the action here in Paisley for now. Freckleton sends up the line towards Mandron. Kent wins well aerially. O'Hara does so similarly on Baningame. Mandron trying to touch it through. Halkett in the way. Milne sweeps up and finds Devlin with Hearts now in possession. McEntee with a layoff for Frankie Kent. Forward high for Cabangu to run into the channel. Gogic there to meet, and he hooks it back from where it came. Shanklin now in towards Braga. Lovely touch away from Fraser. Claims of handball. Braga hits the ground in frustration. The referee Stephen McLean looks away. Some Hearts supporters in the stand behind that goal still cheering for it, but they're not getting it. McEntee crossing, headed away by the St Mirren defence. An hour played, 1-0 to the Buddies. Baningame on the ball, just looking to get it under control, and does so well, twisting and turning away from his opposite number 6, Mark O'Hara. An applause from the Hearts fans. Baningame now edging towards the box. Shanklin, that's blocked by Freckleton in the St Mirren backline. Heavy pressure here from Hearts. It's McEntee, not closed down, right-footed cross, headed away. It's dribbling along the 6-yard area and nobody can get it. And now here's Richardson speeding away from Milne, who went to ground for the challenge but couldn't get the ball. Still bursting forward, runs into Finlay, and he just manages to keep it in play for Baningame. And now Devlin will help tidy things up. This game is being played at such a frantic pace. Only the one goal from Alex Gogic of St Mirren in the first half. Braga now on the ball, rushing forward in St Mirren territory. Right-footed, crosses high towards the back, over the head of Shanklin, and that'll go out for a throw in far side. So let's now cross over to Chick Young at Fairhill.
No change in the scoreline. It remains 2-0 to Partick Thistle against Ayr United. They've been absolutely brilliant. They've no change in the flow of play. They've had all the possession, powering forward, some terrific football, and actually just a moment or two ago they had a chance to make it 3-0. Aidan Fitzpatrick, who's been another outstanding player for the Jags this afternoon, delighting the support in here. I thought it would get in just beyond the left-hand post of the goalkeeper, but it's been all Partick Thistle. You would think if they get another goal, it'll be game, set and match, and that is to the delight of a crowd inside, the Thistle inside. The official attendance is incidentally 3,124.
Thank you, Chick. Meanwhile, back at the Smythe Stadium, Hearts are pushing and pushing, trying to go up the gears to test Shamal George in the St Mirren goal. It's a different task for the manager of St Mirren, Stephen Robinson, now just trying to guide his team through this pressure. Findlay has it for Hearts on the far side, on the left of the back three. Loops the ball forward towards Cabangu. He runs in front of Gogic and takes possession. And the goal scorer of the game manages to wrap the left foot around the Hearts attacker and puts it out for a throw-in. Back towards Findlay now. And he has to get it under control and turn to face his own goal to shield. Ayunga's interested in that pass back to the goalkeeper Clark, but it is Xander Clark, all in yellow, the former St Johnstone man, who swipes it upfield. Kent will let it drop and will look to find a way forward again. Alan Preston, Hearts starting to build now.
No, they've got better. The changes have certainly got them back into the game. They can still be caught on the break, but the changes that Derek's made at half-time, the three of them coming on, certainly made them a better side.
Halkett, ball just bounced up before he connected with the right foot, but it was a lovely pass out to Findlay. Here's Devlin. He knew there was three on his heels trying to get the ball. He goes down from a push from his fellow Australian, Keanu Bacchus. And that is a hot one in the middle. Hearts roll it quickly. Here's Kent. It's a forward line of 5 showing interest. McEntee the furthest right of that line. Shanklin, quick pass for Braga, does well to shield it with the low socks. Back with the pass for McEntee, looking to take on Tanzer, the St Mirren half-time substitute again. McEntee dipping towards the back. Milne there, got up well for the header, but it goes over the crossbar. And it will be a goal kick to St Mirren. It remains with 63 minutes on the clock. St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 0. Stephen Thompson, what will Stephen Robinson be thinking now?
Well, just before that, I mean, it was a fabulous ball in from McEntee into the box to Harry Milne at the back post, and he's got the height advantage. I just felt as though he should have done better with that header. He puts it high over the bar, but Hearts are coming into the game. I think Stephen Robinson's looking a wee bit more frustrated down there on the touchline, to answer your questions. None haven't really gotten forward or looked at as much a threat in the last 10 minutes. Hearts are getting a wee grip in the game, but one thing that will happen is Hearts continue to commit bodies forward as Mirren will get an opportunity in the counter. The Nick, obviously, St Mirren score again. It's a long way back for Hearts.
As we talked about a couple of times at the start of the programme, St Mirren delighted that their manager signed a new contract extension tying him to the summer of 2028 along with assistant Brian Kerr.
If you watch Phillips, Stephen, he's in acres of space on his own. He just can't get him on the ball in the second half, St Mirren.
Yeah.
Finlay on the ball now for Hearts. Long he looks towards Claudio Braga. Gogic there and is strong. Phillips, who's not been involved with the little St Mirren possession in the second half, still trying to do his best aerially when the ball goes forward. Devlin has it in Maroon now, out to the left side with Braga switching sides at the moment. He's looking to take on Fraser. It's the St Mirren man putting the ball out for a throw-in to Heart of Midlothian. Remember, we will update you with the other games. Aberdeen 2-0 up against Greenock Morton. Partick Thistle 2-0 up against Ayr United. St Johnstone and Motherwell 0-0. And it's currently St Mirren 1, Hearts 0 here in Paisley. Milne takes the throw. Devlin pauses, waits, back to Milne. The exchange once more. Baningame asks for it on the edge of the area, pushed away by O'Hara, but there's no one forward for St Mirren, so Finlay has time and space, clipping it into the box. McEntee wins the header. Mandron's there to power it away with those strong neck muscles. Shanklin dips it towards the back. Braga's there, up behind Fraser, who goes down, and to the frustration of the Hearts fans, the referee Stephen McLean blows for a St Mirren free kick, and the score stays St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 0 with 66 minutes on the clock.
It's not just the St Mirren fans that are getting annoyed by Stevie McLean. It didn't look a foul to me. I think Marcus Fraser just uses his experience, goes to the deck, and Stevie McLean's bought it.
I don't know what the referee sees here, to be honest.
St Mirren, they feel that their players need some encouragement, as does Stephen Robinson. The Buddy supporters voicing a couple of songs to help them get going. Stephen Robinson has the hands and arms going like windmills, just asking for more energy from his players. They will need it to see through this final 24 minutes. This would be a massive result in their season, for either side's season, if they can navigate this one and get through to the League Cup quarter-finals. Shanklin steals from Bacchus, only Cabango ahead low, so he'll hold it. The Hearts captain leaves it for Braga, onto the left, onto the right, still going Claudio Braga. Strong right hand from Shamal George. He was looking through a crowd of bodies to see it, but got down low and made the save. But that was good. More energy from Claudio Braga for the Hearts fans, who applaud behind the goal. St Mirren 1, Hearts 0.
And it's lovely feet from Braga, just can't get the shot away from George. He's a big imposing goalkeeper. Good save, but better play from Hearts. Shanklin's involved. I thought he was going to get brought down actually at the edge of the box, but he does really well. Shanklin gives it to Braga.
The Hearts free kick now, and the groans are from the St Mirren supporters in the stands as Devlin looks to go quickly. There's so much to keep your eyes on in this match. We'll do your best to keep you across everything that's happening on and off the pitch. The two managers are screaming for every decision, as you'd expect down in the technical area. Findlay for Milne, being pushed away by Richardson. Here's Devlin facing his own goal, turns sideways. Baningame under pressure from Bacchus. He and O'Hara fall to the ground. The referee has a look and awards the free kick to the home side, and that will just allow St Mirren to take the sting out of things for a couple of seconds and try and get some possession in the Hearts final third. Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, they've not been as threatening in this second half, but they're not the ones that are chasing the game. They've got the goal lead, and so far you have to say, apart from that one opportunity from Braga just a few moments ago, as much as Hearts have come into the game, they've not really been peppering Shamal George's goal.
It's nerves both ways as the clock ticks down in the Smysa Stadium. George takes the free kick, Kent heads out, and there's it caught by Tanzer. And the flag is up, so it wouldn't have counted, but it was a strong save from Xander Clark, who had strong wrists as he fell to his knees. But the free kick quickly taken by the Hearts goalkeeper, Alan Preston.
Yeah, I suppose he's not to know the flag's going up, and he makes the save, gets it away from the target. Decent enough hit, but as you rightly said, Stuart, the flag goes up offside.
Kent goes to Halkett, still wearing that bandage, or it's a more fashionable one rather than the white wrapping that was on his head of the first half. Milne up against Richardson. That's been an interesting battle on the left side for Hearts as they come forward, but Milne is adjudged to have fouled the St Mirren right wing back. Stephen McLean blows for the St Mirren free kick, and that just adds further to the frustration for Derek McInnes and Hearts.
That's naive from Milne, it really is, and he's got a lot of games under his belt, but St Mirren player's gone nowhere. He's facing his own goal.
Yeah, pointless foul.
What is he doing? He's just letting him off the hook.
Shamal George ready to take. He hasn't been called into action too much apart from that Claudio Braga chance earlier. Milne, who conceded the free kick, will head the ball away. Mandron, good communication with his teammates. There was no one communicating for Hearts as three just stood and watched as Mandron could take the ball, and now Hearts have it through Devlin. Phillips tracking back. Devlin being forced out to that far side touchline. He goes down after a late challenge.
Phillips has got to get yellow carded. He's had about 5 or 6.
Again, both managers. Derek McInnes throws his hands in the air. Stephen Robinson has his hands on his hips. Hearts moving again. The St Mirren supporters trying to use what they can to give their players some energy. 25 second half minutes played, 70 minutes on the clock. It's still St Mirren 1, Hearts 0 on BBC Sports Sound. Remember, plenty of action still to come. Full live commentary of Rangers against Alloa Athletic after this one here in Paisley. Hearts have it. Midway point of the St Mirren half. Kent rolls it into the box. Shanklin looking to turn. Freckleton stays close. Jamal George gets fingertips to it as that was creeping towards goal, just at that top right postage stamp from a wide area from Shanklin, and Hearts have the corner. 1-0 it remains.
Yeah, you can see what they're trying to do. Shanklin's looking for a runner off him. He's getting his body position in the 18-yard box. He's looking for someone to lay it off to. No one's there, so he tries to quickly get turned, flicks it across. Keeper touches it over the bar for a corner.
We did say this could be Hearts' best opportunity to get the leveller. Milne will take the corner from this bottom right corner rack from our commentary position. Hands in the air, left footed. It's high towards the back. Halkett has to run. That's and he's pulled up. And he just seemed to move gingerly away from his starting position, and you knew straight away with the way he just lifted the leg up trying to run, that looked a sore one, and that's real concern for Derek McInnes, Heart of Midlothian, and Craig Halkett. Alan Preston.
It's horrific for the lad, really is. He's back on his feet, but I can't see how he can continue. He's had horrific injury problems. He's come back in brilliant condition.
The ball ends awful as well, though, isn't it? I mean, like, you know, just a big high floaty ball way past the back post. There was no quality in the delivery that time, but hopefully Halkett's just tweaked something and he's able to run this off, but he is limping quite heavily.
He's back in his defensive position, hands on his back, just trying to help maybe apply some pressure to the muscles as he tries to walk it off.
That might be taken out of his hands, Stuart. Derek might take him off, go to a flat 4.
With the way the game is being played as well. McInnes will have his options. St Mirren have a throw far side. Marcus Fraser will take high across the halfway line. Finlay there to battle with Mandron. Baningame steps in. Kent fires it forward. Bangu on the heels of Fraser, and he'll send that one to safety out on the far side. Craig Halkett, I think, Alan, you're just looking towards him.
He's struggling. For me, it would be, well, it looks like he's going to bring Forrest on. McIntyre will just go and play, I would imagine, right back. Kent will go play centre half with Finlay. Hearts will go to a flat 4.
Time running out for Heart of Midlothian. They trail by an Alex Gogic goal here against St Mirren. Shanklin passes for Braga, goes from distance. Strong hands from George. It had plenty of pace on the shot from outside the area, but Jamal George looked comfortable and he just let the ball drop, and nobody could pick up any scraps because it was so close to the goalkeeper. And it remains 1-0 St Mirren.
Yeah, a lot of power in it, but a good save. Comfortable.
Straight at the goalie, yeah. But I mean, he's been Hearts' brightest player without a shadow of a doubt. His Braga.
Ayunga showing interest up the other end. On the ball back now for Tanzer with the pass. Ayunga peels away onto the touchline in space. Exchange with Tanzer once more. Drills it in low, and Halkett clears away right-footed. Alan Forrest still waiting alongside the Hearts coaching staff to be introduced. Lovely back heel from Braga. He finds Devlin on the halfway line. Ayunga possibly with a tug back there, and Devlin is punished for one on Miguel Freckleton. Free kick St Mirren. That allows the change, and Alan Forrest will come on to replace Craig Halkett. And we do hope that the former Livingston captain is okay after his injury issues. He's a brilliant defender, a great football player, and you want to make sure that he's available for the entertainment side of things on the football pitch. And after his history, it's something you don't want to see anyone go through. Craig Halkett removed by his manager Derek McInnes. St Mirren free kick, 1-0 the score to the home side, the Buddies.
4-4-2, do you reckon?
George will take. We'll cross over to Capello shortly. There's been another goal there. Finlay will head away. Braga takes, and that's Bacchus stepping in. Can he start another St Mirren attack? He does brilliantly to skip a couple of challenges right side of the penalty area. Devlin gets his body in front. and keeps it in play from going out for a corner. That's brilliant from the little Australian. Exchanges with Finlay, and it's still down in that corner. It's out off Ayunga for the Hearts goal kick, so let's cross over to Billy at Capello.
It's 3-0 for Aberdeen, and it was a brilliantly taken goal, you have to say. You can see the confidence flooding through them, and it was Keskinen who's on as a sub, put his fellow sub Clarkson through with a brilliant through ball, and he waited for the goalkeeper to go to ground, just lobbed it over him, just trundled into the net. It's Morton 0, Aberdeen 3, a brilliant goal.
So the Dons silencing any doubters thought they would come under a tricky tie down at Capello. Billy will keep us updated with that one. Ball out for a throw in here for St Mirren and Paisley, so let's cross to Willie at McDermott Park.
Yeah, still dominated. This game is dominated by the visitors. They've had numerous opportunities. Stephen O'Donnell going down, looked like a penalty. To me, it wasn't given. Eli just having a 20-yard pop at goal as well. Wangela having a shot that was blocked, and then Wanise having a right low swerving shot that goalkeeper did well to save. On the other side, one chance from the football playing St Johnstone, and it was a long ball. It was flicked on for Mackenzie Kirk, who almost managed to get there before the goalkeeper coming out and blocking the chance. So dominated by the visitors, absolutely. The Premiership club, the Championship club, they've played some nice football, but they're very weak up front. It's 0-0 just now. It's still in the balance. It's anybody's game. I just wish someone would actually take the bull by the horn and actually find the back of the net.
We hope that too for you, Willie. Here at the Smythe Stadium, Benny Beningame, the half-time substitute for Hearts, is down and receiving some treatment from the medical team. Hearts have a corner to take on the right side, but inside the final 15 minutes here, St Mirren lead by 1-0. Alex Gogic, the scorer, back in the first half after 35 minutes. And Hearts are looking to test Jamal George a little bit more if they're to get an equaliser in this one, but there is still time. Craig Halkett withdrawn just moments ago for Alan Forrest, coming on after a little bit of an injury issue, with Halkett pulling up at an attacking corner for Hearts. Benny Beningame is now back on his feet and will have to go off the pitch for this corner, so Hearts will be temporarily down to 10, but they will pack the penalty area. There will be time to be added on at the end of this one as well, with the second half stoppages after the 5 additional minutes played, or a signal there was 6 played at the end of the first half. Harry Milne ready with this corner from the bottom right arc. Can he send in a delivery to create? It's dipping at the back, the header down, and it's in! And it's Oisin McEntee who jumps over the advertising boards to celebrate with the Hearts supporters. Some of the deliveries have tested that St Mirren backline this afternoon, but nothing tested Jamal George. He couldn't get anywhere near that one, and what a moment for McEntee. It's St Mirren 1, Hearts 0, Hearts 1.
That's brilliant, honestly, and I said that Ross Grant come to the club as a set-piece coach, and they've been very potent all season, albeit we're only seven games in almost, but they've been a threat every set play. Even today, Halkett, Kent, they've had their chances. This time it's McEntee that's been freed, and it's a fine header into the bottom corner.
Yeah, I mean, the ball in this time is better. I'm just trying to see who it was picking up. I think it's maybe, was it Mandron or Ayunga, one of the two at the back post, and when the ball comes in, they just lose the run of Oisin McEntee, and it's a simple header really, just headers it down past Jamal George, and Hearts probably,
near up the other end. Ayunga goes down, the referee has a look and shakes the head. He wanted a penalty in the box, bodies coming together. Here's Fraser, just to clarify for the Hearts supporters, St Mirren 1, Hearts 1. Ignore that commentator slip. And the ball now on the right side, crossed in, headed away by McEntee, doing the defensive work after getting the leveller up in the other penalty area. This game, I felt like it couldn't be played at any more of a pace with intensity, but here we go again.
Bragg quick.
Bragg on the left side, burning those heels, goes down under the challenge from Fraser. No free kick, although the Hearts supporters do claim, and it's cleared by Richardson up the line. Mandron takes, gets a moment or two to juggle the layoff for Bacchus. He'll sweep the ball over to this left side. McEntee there again, he headers forward. It's Freckleton, he just settles it down. That's a wise move from the St Mirren man. Tanzer on the near side, the away end rocking from the Jambos, singing to our right. That's a lovely pass through from O'Hara for Ayunga, but the flag is raised by the assistant on the far side, and it looks like what that goal has done, Alan, is actually going to make it a more end-to-end game now.
Yeah, I think you've got to give Derek credit. He's seen at half-time, maybe I think a couple of them were forced. Kabore, certainly, Magnuson as well, forced because of the yellow cards, but they've certainly got better in the second half.
Hearts looking to attack on that far side. Fraser comes away with the ball. Beningame presses, he looks okay as he's back on the pitch. Bacchus goes down, St Mirren free kick. So let's cross over to Firhill and get an update from Chick.
Pretty positive that Partick Thistle have navigated their way to the haven of the quarter-finals of the League Cup. The lead by 2-0. Remember, Danny O'Reilly with one earlier on, a loop-in header. Here's another chance for Thistle to make it 3. That goalkeeper saves that one. And I did say that earlier on, Logan Chalmers scored the second. My friends at Partick Thistle TV are suggesting that Tony Watt may have got the slightest of touches. In any case, it's 2-0 to Thistle. They have a real grip in this game, although Ayr have got themselves a little more back into the football match. But surely I cannot see Thistle blowing this now in the sunshine. Tremendous afternoon, tremendous performance from Thistle throughout this. They lead this game against the United by 2-0.
Thanks very much, Chick. Here in Paisley, Hearts have a free kick. Both Stephen Robinson and Derek McInnes are burning the ears of the fourth official in between the two technical areas with every sound of the whistle, with every decision made. There is so much riding on this. We're inside the final 10 minutes at the Smythe Stadium. It's St Mirren 1, Hearts 1. Gogic with the St Mirren goal first half, McEntee second half for the men in maroon. Beningame rolls for Devlin. Here in 3 changes being prepared by St Mirren. McEntee takes on the halfway line, near side, attacking from left to right. Right-footed pass for Forrest. The substitute on, crossing in. Shankman's header, but he was some way out from the 6-yard area, so couldn't divert it goalward. The Hearts supporters want a corner. The referee points for a goal kick to St Mirren. 1-1 the score.
No, it's not a corner. Lawrence gets his head on it. It's a good ball in from Forrest. Just knocks it wide. Claiming for everything at the moment. 3 changes, as you rightly said, Stuart, for St Mirren here.
And Kamisi Sobowale is one coming on, the other Roland Idowu. Mikel Mandron applauds the home supporters as his number is up in red on the fourth official board. David Mooney is the 3rd change. Keanu Bacchus also being removed.
Yeah, the energy levels in the second half, Stuart, just dropped a wee bit from St Mirren. I mean, it would have been hard to keep up the intensity that they showed in that opening hour, 50-60 minutes, and it's just dropped as Hearts have come back into the game. So clearly Stephen Robinson were trying to get a bit of freshness as we approach the end of the match. Is there going to be a winner?
And just to confirm, Jaden Richardson was the other player going off. So the 3 subs, Stephen Robinson hoping not only to inject some energy but can find his side a second goal for the Buddies in this game. Hearts, they will feel that they have the momentum after that equaliser from Oisin McEntee. I did say set pieces were where Hearts did look more dangerous in this game, and it was a corner that led to the goal. Tanzer taking away, Forrest in the way. Freckleton just fires that into this main stand. A breathless first half, a pulsating second half. 6.5 minutes left on the clock of normal time. Remember, if this isn't settled in 90 minutes, it will go to extra time and penalties. Beningame rolls it back for Finlay in the Hearts half, left-footed, drilled into Beningame again. Shanklin takes, turns, passing for Forrest, right side. Tanzer goes to meet, the ball not beyond the St Mirren left back, and it's Tanzer who takes. Freckleton helps out with the clearance. Kent steps onto it. The touch takes the sting out of the ball, and it's directed towards Devlin. Here's Milne, early cross, looping. Gogic stops it from getting to Shanklin. Devlin has it. The points are to the right side from the Hearts supporters. McEntee crossing early. Shanklin takes on the toes of the right foot. It looks over his head and bounces into the hands of Samal George. It remains St Mirren 1, Hearts 1.
I don't you like to pick a winner, Stephen, at the moment?
Well, I mean, I think the momentum's been with Hearts for about the last 25 minutes, and obviously they got the goal. St Mirren have kind of really dropped off in terms of looking at creative force in this second half, but I wonder if they'll both just settle for the extra time.
I honestly think Hearts haven't seen them on a number of occasions when they go to a back four. They're certainly better.
You prefer it? Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. I really do. But I think that still got the problem in the right back area. McEntee's a central midfield player that wants to play in there, and that's where Derek wants to play him, but because of the injuries, unfortunately he has to play it right back.
Looks like at the moment, Alan, McEntee's actually getting quite a bit of space on that right side for getting forward too, so he'll be very happy at that.
He is, yeah, and he was involved in a goal last week at Tannadice, getting to the byline as well, and chances, so he can play there. It's not where he wants to play.
It's a battle on the far side, and eventually the ball drops on the other side of the byline for the touchline for a St Mirren throw. Fraser ready to take. He's just edging forward a little more. Up the line it goes towards Ayunga. Shanklin interested, but as is O'Hara. St Mirren captain fires it forward. Clark will move to the edge of his penalty area, the goalkeeper, and collect, and that all-yellow goalkeeper kit rolls out to Kent. That right side of the centre-back pairing gives it left to Findlay. Now Milne standing on the touchline. He can't find a way into the St Mirren half, so he'll go back to the goalkeeper Clark. He sweeps the ball out for McEntee. He has that space that I just mentioned ahead. Now Idowu comes over to try and restrict it a little. Kent fires it forward. Forrest looking to run onto it. Gogic heads away. Shanklin now takes in the air, cushions it down for Braga. He waits on the overlap, but the pause and delay allows Idowu to get back and make the challenge. Hearts throw.
Braga's, I think he's been the difference. He's collected the ball, he's kept it, he's got turned, he's linked up. He's done well.
McEntee on the throw, edge of the final third. Full time at Capello. Greenock Morton 0, Aberdeen 3. So Yemi Talene's men into the hat for the next round. St Mirren looking to come forward as they go right to left into their own support on the left side from our commentary position. They have a throw in just inside the Hearts half. Tanzer throws it back to Freckleton. This is Gogic now for Fraser. That's the turn back towards the man in the middle of that back three, and the St Mirren goal scorer Alex Gogic. Forrest cushions down in the chest. McEntee will wait for Xander Clark to come out and pick that one up. He'll have a look forward to that front three of Shanklin, Braga and Kabangu.
It's certainly, Stephen, been a game of two halves. St Mirren better first half, deserve to be ahead. I think Hearts deserve to be back in the game.
Yeah, I'd be hard to disagree with that. St Mirren started the second half quite brightly, and you're wondering if it's just going to be a repeat of the first half, but I think the changes, and certainly Braga has made a big influence again on the ball.
He's dragged to the ground by Marcus Fraser, and again, as we've heard quite a lot in this match, screams asking for a card of the referee, but it will be a free kick only. But this looks like a very, very dangerous position for Heart of Midlothian. They've already scored from one set piece. Can they take the lead for the first time in this match from another?
Yeah, it's almost on the angle of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side. It's set up for Milne to whip it across. His delivery's been excellent from set plays. His corners have been dangerous, have been finding men. So we'll see again how this does. It's actually, sorry, sure. It's actually for. I would prefer Forrest to take this.
It's left. Milne high to the back post. McEntee heads across. Oh, and it's not directed towards goal. McEntee goes down. Flag up. Shanklin has a shot. It's blocked. Offside is the decision. But for a moment there, it did look like McEntee was going to be involved again. And once again, it was the back post from where the set piece was taken. But there was bodies everywhere, just in similar fashion to the way this game has been played in the first 8 minutes. And the score remains St Mirren 1, Hearts 1.
He headers it back into such a good area, and if Kabangu's more aware, he just moves his body slightly and taps it home. He's so square onto it. It's as if he's not even on his toes expecting it to come back across, and he's basically a metre out from the goal. Any type of contact goalwards, it's a goal. Big chance.
He's got to score. Stoop down, head it, hit off your chest,
anything,
hit off
knee.
your thigh, anything.
Yeah,
He's a yard out.
A massive opportunity for Hearts to try and wrap this one up inside 90 minutes. We're inside the final minute. I'm hearing 3 additional minutes will be played. Hearts have the ball in their back line through Findlay. It's their time for a goal either direction. It's Hearts who look the most likely in the second half, but it has been a brilliant game, a brilliant tie with so much at stake, with a quarter-final place up for grabs. Both these sides didn't progress past this stage last season. Hearts lost to Falkirk, St Mirren lost to Dundee United, but one of them will progress this season. Who will it be? And inside the final 5 seconds of regulation time, it's 1-1. The flag is up against Cabangu. 3 minutes up on the board from the 4th official. What energy is left out there on the pitch? St Mirren will have an opportunity here for Shamal George to launch the ball forward. Full time at Firhill, Partick Thistle 2, Ayr United 0. So Mark Wilson's side in the next round. St Johnstone and Motherwell still 0-0. That also could be heading towards extra time. We've got Willie Miller at that one. And a push from
so obvious.
The St Mirren player. Honestly, will give Hearts a free kick, so the set piece for the Saints will come to nothing, Stephen.
If you're going to have a wee nudge in the centre half, you've got to do it with a wee bit of disguise. It was just so blatantly obvious. A really good position as well they were in.
High ball, Tanzer deals with it in the St Mirren back line. Idowu tried to hook it away, McEntee charged it down, looked to stab it forward for Cabangu, but there was too many in black and white in the way. McEntee has it again into the final third now. Forrest charging down that right side. McEntee goes alone, the cross takes a deflection. Shanklin interested, edge of the box. Gogic wins it, only as far as Beningame. He'll go back to move forward. Findlay out for Milne, far side. Now Braga takes the touch with the left foot onto the right, lays it off for Milne, gets to the byline, crosses over. Gogic steers it away from the 6-yard area. Danger not over. Lovely touch from Braga on that far side. Milne takes the pass. Finlay now, diagonal cross early. Freckleton all alone heads it away. Is there a St Mirren counter-attack here? Jonah Ayunga looks ahead, only Idowu there. He tries to hold on to it, to the frustration of the home support. St Mirren throw. St Mirren 1, Hearts 1 on Sports Sound.
A chance for St Mirren there, elects to turn back, but another chance for Hearts. Braga's been excellent since he's come on. Box of tricks.
Devlin, Braga here inside his own half. Beningame, who shook off that earlier knock too, done well to recover from that. Finlay, light pass forward for Devlin. He's facing his own goal but has time to turn and finds Braga once more. Patient build up from Hearts. We're inside the final additional minute. Does extra time beckon here in Paisley? Devlin asks for someone to make the move towards him. It's Elton Cabangu who does. Now for Milne, far side, Braga. Oh, it's a lovely flick again for Cabangu. He's racing away. Fraser cynically brings him down. Free kick Hearts. Yellow card to the St Mirren defender. And this could be a massive, huge opportunity for Heart of Midlothian right to the death.
That was brilliant. Braga again. Cabangu is away from Fraser. I think it's actually a good foul for St Mirren.
Well, very good foul, because Cabangu was breaking into the box and he had options in the middle, and Fraser, I think it's a foul. He had to take the yellow card for his team there, but what he's done is given away a free kick in a ridiculously dangerous position.
Cabangu's got cramp. Come on at half time.
Surely not.
Give him benefit early season.
Nah, not having that.
Full time, St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 0. Extra time for Willie Miller at that one. We'll keep across you with everything happening here on BBC Sports Sound. We have the live commentary of Rangers Alloa to come, but it looks like there will be extra time here in Paisley unless Hearts can get something from this set piece. Free kick, far side, Forrest to take, a packed 6-yard area. Dipped into the front post, defended by Fraser, who conceded the set piece. Milne plays it back in. Braga waits on the run forward. Back to Milne, cut across, blocked by Sobowale. Is it a corner? It's full time. The referee blows the whistle. The Hearts supporters are furious in the stand to our right. The St Mirren supporters, well, they breathe a sigh of relief because they've come under some pressure in that second half. But extra time, or maybe penalties, will be needed to decide who progresses in this one here in Paisley. Full time, extra time to come. St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 1.
The Scottish League Cup.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Stay tuned to Sports Sound. Extra time commentary to come from the game in Paisley. Let's just scoot round the other 3 o'clock kickoffs. Morton against Aberdeen. Billy Dodds, the full-time whistle is gone.
Yeah, what on paper, Kerry, looked to be a cup shock, turned out to be a routine confidence-boosting win for the Dandies. It all started in the half-hour mark when a corner from Palaversa was met by Nielsen in the front post, and it just flicked his header into the far corner. Then 8 minutes from half-time, it was 2-0. Morris with a running shot. Auchi kept it in, cut it back, and Yengi tapped it home from 5 yards. Into the second half, it really should have been 3 for Aberdeen there. Matt Keskinen, Rob Sub-Wilson, a 1-on-1 with Storer, who blocked it, and he did well to recover, also to beat away a Fletcher Boyd shot. But it was 3-0, 11 minutes from time. Fellow sub Keskinen with a perfect pass to fellow sub Clarkson, who coolly dinked it over the goalkeeper. Keskinen then had the deflected shot that clipped the crossbar a few minutes later, but Aberdeen cruised into the Premier Sports Cup quarters. It finished at Capello. Morton 0, Aberdeen 3.
Good stuff, thanks to Billy Dodds. Next stop, Perth, McDermott Park, St Johnstone against Motherwell. Let's hear from Willie Miller.
Kenny, a lot of good football and show, there's no doubt about that. Both managers like their teams to get the ball down and pass it. Not too many chances, but the bulk of the chances definitely fell for the visitors. That's for sure. Certainly up until the last 5 minutes. Motherwell had chance after chance. Stephen O'Donnell goes down looking for a penalty. They didn't get it, got booked. Eli just had a 20-yard strike. Longello, the left back, had a shot that was blocked. Masawini, a right foot low drive that the goalkeeper saved. Andy Halliday had a left foot volley that was well saved as well. And then in the last 10 minutes, 2 great opportunities for St Johnstone to multi with a speculative 30-yard volley just by the post. And then Jason Holt should have wrapped it up. He's coming in from a deep midfield position. He's maybe about 14 yards out. It's perfectly set up for him to strike into the back of the net, and he puts it past the post. That's why it's 0-0 and we're into extra time.
Well, they'll keep us updated on that one. Let's get to Firhill. Partick Thistle against Ayr United, and hear from Chick Young.
No extra time required here, just a good time for the Partick Thistle fans this afternoon, and presumably this evening. They dispensed with Ayr United's presence in this tournament. 2-0 on the afternoon, 2-0 at half time. Danny O'Reilly with a looping header 5 minutes before the break, and then I think Logan Chalmers with a dancing run in from the right side onto that wonderful left foot, put it low into the net. And there's the suggestions from Partick Thistle TV that there was a touch on that helped it into the net from Tony Watt. I'm not sure I saw that, but we'll not worry about it, and neither will Partick Thistle, because they have got themselves through the quarter final. They blew Ayr United away. Ayr came into a little bit to the last 20 minutes or so of the game, but they were so comfortable with the ball in the Thistle. They were just terrific, and so many star names. But I've got to highlight the performance of Tonello Lesosa, who was just terrific. Former, I think, Celtic youth team player. They've got him as an entertaining little winger, so comfortable on the ball, goes past players, gets fouled, gets up and gets on with that again. Wonderful to watch. I think Mark Wilson has signed himself a little diamond there. 21 years old. He's a former Scotland under-16 player, so maybe, who knows, in the long run, if we can keep going like that, we may have another one for the future. But a wonderful performance from Partick Thistle this afternoon. Thoroughly deserved their place in the quarter-final draw, and they've defeated Scott Brown's Ayr United by 2-0.
Fantastic, thanks to Chick Young there. So in the Premier Sports Cup, Morton 0, Aberdeen 3, Partick Thistle 2, Ayr United 0, St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 0, St Mirren 1, Hearts 1. So that's going to extra time, same as the game in Perth. Rangers against Alloa kicks off at 5:45. We'll bring you the team news a little later. Elsewhere to the full-time scores in League 1. Cove Rangers 3, Montrose 3, Hamilton Accies 1, East Fife 2, Inverness Carry Thistle 1, Stenhousemuir 2, Queen of the South 4, Peterhead 0, and in League 2, Clyde 1, Spartans 3, Dumbarton 1, Elgin City 1, East Kilbride 3, Stranraer 1, Edinburgh City 2, Annan Athletic 2, Forth Athletic 4, Stirling Albion 2, and in England the full-time scores in the top flight: 0-0 between Aston Villa and Newcastle, Brighton 1, Fulham 1, Sunderland 3, West Ham United 0, Spurs 3, Burnley 0, 5:30 start, Wolves at home to Manchester City. A reminder, 5:45 start at Ibrox, Rangers against Alloa, full commentary to come. But let's get back to our team in Paisley. Extra time to come. It's on a knife edge. Back to you, Stuart Mitchell.
Thank you. It has been a blistering 90 minutes, and we have some bonus football here in Paisley. Extra time between St Mirren and Heart of Midlothian. 1-1 the scoreline. And if you're joining us late, coming back from a match, St Mirren shooting from left to right in this first half of extra time into the Hearts supporters to our right of the commentary position. Hearts going from right to left. A first half goal from Alex Gogic after 35 minutes had the Buddies in front. Oisin McEntee scored with just about 12 minutes to go in the second half with a lovely header to level for Heart of Midlothian. Here's Claudio Braga on the left side. The substitute at half-time for Derek McInnes comes up against a substitute for St Mirren just moments ago in Richard King, who I believe replaced Jonah Ayunga. There's so much to keep across here at the Smythe Stadium. Which way will this one go? Extra time between St Johnstone and Motherwell as Kenny instructed, so we will be crossing to Willie Miller for updates from McDermott throughout this extra period. Shanklin takes the ball for Hearts, cleared away by Richard King of St Mirren. McEntee has it. The goal scorer for Hearts comes across the halfway line on the right side, far side, going from right to left in the all maroon of Hearts with the white shorts. Gets to the corner flag, the cross is high and goes out for a goal kick. So St Mirren, the home side in their black and white stripes, going from left to right, Shamal George with a goal kick to take. It is St Mirren 1, Hearts 1. And for once there's a bit of a drop in the pace.
It's good to hear Willie's still keeping up his reputation and getting the worst games of the day. Like to hear that, Willie.
Shamal George ready to take, well, the extra 30 minutes in Perth. Delight Willie Miller with a goal between St Johnstone and Motherwell. It's been complimentary of the football played there. There's been some lovely stuff played here. And Claudio Braga with a bit of fancy footwork, just bringing the ball into his path with the heel, but he couldn't keep it in play. St Mirren throw, Fraser takes. Get it all the way back there for King. He'll go forward over the halfway line, Findlay. Another strong performance for the defender. Fires it forward towards Freckleton. O'Hara takes now Gogic for St Mirren. Back into the centre circle on the St Mirren side of the pitch. Tanzer infield for Gogic. Up now for the youngster Mooney. Skips the challenge from Beningame and peels away on that far left side. It's closed down by the Hearts man. He gets it back for Idowu. And now the break of the ball will go all the way up to the halfway line where Shanklin stands. He loops it in behind the defence. Kabangu looking to move forward. Shamal George will just fake to come for it, and the ball didn't quite make it into the box. There's screams from the Hearts supporters that was outside of the white paint. Lawrence Shanklin is on the shoulder of referee Stephen McLean, saying the same thing.
He's
but play
right
will roll on.
Well, the linesman's there as well. I mean,
Lawrence is light and right. He can't believe it. This is where VAR. They should be paying for VAR anyway, but it's he's convinced that it's outside the box.
He's still walking away with hands on the back of his head, the Hearts captain, and there has been a couple of contentious decisions in this match. St Mirren supporters certainly felt that Magnuson, the midfielder, should have been shown a second yellow card in the first half. Here's Braga moving forward for Hearts. Fraser cuts out the pass to Shanklin. For a moment there it looked like it would get to the captain, who was making his way
he's
into
been really
the penalty
good,
box.
This is Braga, but that pass should have been a lot better to Shanklin, who'd made a decent run. Just didn't get the angle right there.
Throw Hearts on the far side. Hearts reverting to a back four with McEntee, Kent, Findlay and Milne, Devlin, Beningame and Forrest in the middle, with Braga, Kabangu and Shanklin up front. It's a back five for St Mirren and Stephen Robinson. So Bavali, Fraser, King, Freckleton and Tanzer. Phillips, Gogic and O'Hara make up the middle, with Idowu and Mooney the forward two. It's Tamisi Sobowale who comes away with the ball. He put in a quite ridiculous backtracking and sliding challenge at Celtic Park a couple of weeks ago for St Mirren, preventing a second Celtic goal. There's number 2 for Hearts, Frankie Kent. Slides the ball to McEntee, and he's hurt himself in the process of trying to clear that one up against O'Hara. He's just trying to stretch it off on the far side, but that's something we may see. I made a joke there about the intensity and pace of the game, Stephen Thompson, but as this one goes into extra time early season, we saw Kabangu having cramp earlier.
Yeah, he's no excuse.
It's going to slow down.
He's no excuse. I mean, I saw Mark O'Hara doing similar, stretching his hamstring. He felt a wee bit of it as well, especially when you consider the heat today. You know, out in that pitch, we're in the shade here, but the whole pitch virtually bathed in sunshine, so it's asking a lot of the players.
We're in the shade, but this match has certainly made us sweat. There's so much going on. It's been played at such an incredible pace. Only 2 goals, 1 in each half. The first half for St Mirren from Gogic, and the second have McEntee equalising for Hearts. Which side will have their name alongside Celtic, Aberdeen, Partick Thistle? They're already in that draw for the next round that will come later tonight. Remember, coverage of Rangers at Ibrox against Alloa Athletic to come on Sports Sound after this one, and after St Johnstone Motherwell, which is also in extra time.
McEntee's down now, wanting the physio on.
This is real
Cramp
concern
again,
for
isn't it?
Derek McInnes.
He's got Steinvender who can go and play in there.
Milne comes across for
He'd be quite
some
reluctant.
hydration.
Sorry, he'd be quite reluctant to take McEntee off. I think he's done well in a position that's alien to him, really.
So 96 minutes on the clock. St Mirren have won this trophy once, last winners in 2013, a 3-2 win against Hearts. Gonsalves, Newton and a certain Stephen Thompson, the scorers for Saints. And that's actually the last time these two clashed in the League Cup. There's been plenty of league match-ups and 2 Scottish Cup battles since, and that one going all the way to penalties last season in the Scottish Cup here. Steinvender coming on, so McEntee still receiving treatment. We see the number 15 come out, Derek McInnes with him at the technical area, hand on the shoulder, giving some instructions to the man that will go over to that right side of the defence. And the numbers up on the board that the goal scorer for Hearts will see an end to his afternoon. Travelling support on their feet to applaud, as it's that man that's forced extra time here in Paisley. Hearts 4 times winners of this competition, but last time in the 1962-63 season with a 1-0 win against Kilmarnock. Last finalists in 2012-13. St Mirren with the winners. I won't mention that name of one of the goal scorers again, but I will mention Stephen Thompson to give some input. And Stephen Thompson, what will he have said to his players with the way that second half was played for this extra time period? They are at home, so we'll be wanting to see a little bit more to get their name in the hat for the next round.
Yeah, they will, but I mean, Hearts had the momentum, and so far in this second half it's the case that Hearts are looking the stronger team again. So I don't know whether it's just a case of hanging in for a counter-attack. That's good play though from Sobowale.
He's done excellent, getting past a couple, and he's just run into Benny Beningame in the midfield, and he's dispossessed by Devlin. Gogic stepping forward, Beningame couldn't take the ball under control. This is Tanzer. Gogic back for King.
This is a game now, the next goal, the winner.
I'd say so.
Fraser took the ball too far in front of Sobowale there, who wanted to take it into feet. Fraser wanted the right wing back to step onto it. Scottish football no stranger to extra time. 2 matches in Conference League on Thursday. Dundee United and Hibs. United's going all the way to penalties. Hibs winning that one in extra time. We've got another couple here on this Saturday, just a couple of days later. So plenty of football action. A couple of games to come tomorrow. Live commentary on Sports Sound from 12 noon. Livingston against Hibs kicks off at 3 with updates from Kilmarnock versus Dundee United at Rugby Park. This is Hearts though, trying to get a go-ahead goal. Steinvender finding Forrest. Steinvender now on the right side of the penalty area. Back for Alan Forrest once more. He's looking towards Beningame. The midfielder takes, turns, uses Finlay. Hearts defenders have stepped up into the left side of the pitch, which is St Mirren's territory. Milne hangs it up, back post, headed away by Freckleton. Steinvender, Shankland caresses it, blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box. And there's the Dobu trying to move away. He thought he was fouled. The referee says no. Hearts continue. This is Devlin. Now Steinvender. Infield for Forrest. Takes it into the right foot. Challenge from Freckleton. Puts the ball out of play for a Heart of Midlothian throw. St Mirren 1, Hearts 1. Here on Sports Sound.
I think it was just a coming together. Stevie Robinson's wanting a free kick. Didn't think it was much in it.
Milne has it near side on the halfway line. Hearts going from right to left. Beningame back for Kent. Sweeps the ball out to the far side. Steinvender forward for Forrest. Back in field for Devlin. He threads that one through for Steinvender. There may be too much pace in it. No, he gets there. And it's cleared away by Freckleton. That's a tired looking St Mirren defence at the moment. The balls are coming into the box. They're just swiping them away. And Hearts are the team in possession, looking to force an opening for a second goal. Here's Beningame. Back for Findlay. Wanted to open it up, but Evan Mooney, the youngster, doing well to charge down and forcing the Hearts man back to the goalkeeper. Clark goes long, King heads down, Phillips can't take it in, Braga goes to ground. The referee had a look, there's no free kick, and the amount of hands that went on Hearts' heads there was quite ridiculous. They couldn't believe it. Shanklin rides a couple of challenges.
One or two St Mirren heads as well.
Steinvender, now Kent. This game being played a lot differently, as you may expect, in extra time, with so much energy poured in to the first and second half. The clock is on triple digits, 100 minutes shown. Findlay forward for Braga. Hearts remain patient, just looking to tire St Mirren out. So Bavali with the challenge, the ball back to Braga though. Devlin returns, fancy footwork from the Portuguese forward. Hearts keeping the ball here, Alan.
Yeah, it was like last week at Tannadice. They had a lot of possession and they just tired Dundee United out. In the end, you're coming off a European tie. It's not the same maybe St Mirren.
Fraser battling with Braga, ball out for a throw-in to Heart of Midlothian. Stephen Robinson's just asking some questions of his players. It's not been too forceful, but he is asking for more energy. Richard King fires that one upfield. Ado with a lovely touch, plays in Mooney. There's only two St Mirren attackers though, outswarmed by four Hearts defenders, and a good challenge, a pinpoint challenge from Devlin, gets Hearts back in possession. Clark, the goalkeeper, asks a bit much of Milne, but the left-sided defender does well to keep that one in play. Xander Clark has it again, and he'll go towards the halfway line. Kabangu showing interest, brings it down in the chest, as does Shankland, lifts it over. Forrest looking to chase onto it, the header back to Shamal George. So let's cross over to McDermott Park and get an extra time update from Willie Miller.
Yeah, probably as expected, this game has got very, very long. The players look extremely tired. Two or three have went down with cramp. There has been chances created though. Mackenzie Kirk had an opportunity, a low drive from a tight angle that went by the post. Svedberg as well had a volley that was well saved. At the other end, Eli Just has been very prominent. One shot just past the post, another little clip. He tried to chip the goalkeeper just to see it drift over the bar. So although the players look particularly knackered, I would say, on the other hand, they are creating opportunities. The game is long, the ball is going from one end to the other, so we're still hopeful that we're going to get a goal rather than it going to penalties.
Keep up that hope, Willie. Meanwhile here, Hearts are on the ball still, with Findlay finding Devlin in the middle. Milne is just offering, but the ball will go forward to Braga. Shankland can only find Fraser with his pass forward. Here's Gogic. Idowu turns, O'Hara supporting, skips a couple of challenges, goes down again. The left arm of Stephen McLean says get up. That time to Roland Idowu. Some disbelief around both sets of supporters, with a couple of decisions again from the referee. All in black in the middle. Here's Devlin, he has the ball and he's urging Harry Milne to step further forward. He gets to the halfway line, he'll tease it in behind King. Kabangu chasing, gets it to George. Kabangu kept the running and made it difficult for the goalkeeper and defender, but St Mirren now have possession. Here's Phillips, he's looking tired after everything he's put into this game, with 103 minutes played so far. So Bavali, one of the Saints substitutes, being forced away from the final third by Milne. He finds his captain O'Hara, he shows a burst of energy, tries to slip it through for Phillips, who just couldn't quite get there, and the ball rolls all the way through to Xander Clark. It remains St Mirren 1, Hearts 1.
Yeah, it's probably St Mirren's best opening in a wee while, that, and it was just the weight of the pass, maybe the wrong option as well. Evan Mooney to the right hand side, which might have been an easier pass. He tried to thread it through the eye of a needle into the run, didn't quite come off.
Here's Forrest just inside the St Mirren half, charging forward. He always shows energy no matter the time in a game. One additional minute to be played here. It's half time at McDermott, 0-0 it remains. Here's Shankland, edge of the box, and a tussle, trying to get the ball into the left foot, passes with the right. Milne will have to take a couple of steps sideways to retrieve, but links up with Braga. It's back with the number 18 of Hearts. So Bavali does well to block. He's looking for space to clear away, and that one, it takes an extra second and can do nothing but put it out for the Hearts throw. Devlin showing energy, wants to take it quickly. We're just about in additional time at the end of this first half of extra time. Finlay took his eye off the ball. Mooney sees an opportunity, but Stuart Finlay, the former Kilmarnock man, does well to recover and hooks it up to the halfway line. Braga juggles again, finds Devlin. Is there a late first half extra time Hearts chance? Shankland hoped so, but he couldn't quite squeeze the ball through. Devlin, now Kent. Kent looks to the right side. Steinvender there. Ball on his toes. Forward for Forrest, hugging the touchline. He'll now drive in field, uses Beningame. Devlin with space, has a look up, urged to shoot by some, decides against it, uses Shankland, heavy pass. Idowu loses out to Beningame. The Heartsman gets in front. Devlin supporting. Kent takes just inside the St Mirren half still. Make it only 10 seconds remain. A block, Gogic takes over on the ball. Idowu looks to find Mooney, who could be one-on-one with Finlay, but is called back. And Derek McInnes and Stephen Robinson just look at each other with a little wry smile as the half-time whistle in extra time sounds. It remains St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 1. Not much in the way of chances. There's lots of tired bodies out there moving gingerly towards their coaching staffs. Half-time here, a big second half of extra time to come in Paisley. St Mirren 1, Hearts 1.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Well, they'll keep us updated on events up at McDermott Park. The next commentary match on Sportsound kicks off at 5:45. Rangers up against Alloa Athletic. Our team there is in place: Rory Lloyd, Tony Docherty, and our match commentator Alistair Lamont. Good evening to you, Al. You can bring us the team news there.
Hi Kenny, I can do, yeah. 10 changes actually for both sides from their last outings. Rangers from the defeat out in the Czech Republic. Only Nasser Giga survives from that one. So I'll give you the Rangers team, which is Liam Kelly in goal as the captain on his first appearance of the season. A back four, I think, and there's some educated guesses going on here, but I think Max Aarons at right back with Nasser Giga, and the debutant Emmanuel Fernandez at centre back, and I'm going for Bailey Rice at left back on his first appearance of the season. I remember reading that they'd experimented with him at left back in pre-season, and I wonder if they'll continue that today. We'll see in the fullness of time. In the midfield then, Joe Rothwell and Nedim Bayrami and Kieran Dowell. Oscar Cortez makes his first start of the season on one flank, and there's a debut on the other side for young Mikey Moore in on loan from Spurs, and this is his first outing in a Rangers jersey with Danilo up front. As I say, Alloa, they were in Challenge Cup action during the week, and effectively Andy Graham played his second string in that one, so pretty much back to full strength. I think for this one with Calvin Orsi, the only player to have started on Tuesday that also starts here at Ibrox. So it's Liam McFarlane in goal, a back four of Owen Foster, David Devine, Scott Taggart and Callum Waters. Stephen Hetherington, who played all four meetings when the two sides came together in 2015-2016 in the Championship, he anchors the midfield with Stefan Skugel and Curtis Roberts also centrally. Stephen Buchanan and Calvin Orsi will be wider with Luke Rankin up front. Daniel McFarlane's the referee.
Thanks to Alistair Lamb. We'll hear more from our team a little later. We'll try and hear from both managers, but of course that is dependent on what happens in this game through in Paisley. Just a reminder, there will be a penalty shootout to follow if we don't find a winner in the second period of extra time. That could also be the case in the game up at McDermott Park. Willie Miller will keep us fully updated on that one. And a reminder, when the action is concluded at Ibrox this evening, we will bring the draw for the quarter-finals of the Premier Sports Cup. So let's get back to our commentary team through in Paisley. Stephen Thompson, Alan Preston and Stuart Mitchell.
Yes, Hearts have only won once in 90 minutes here in their last 7 visits. That was a 2-1 victory in April 2024 in the Premiership. A George Grant penalty and a man-drawn own goal took place either side of a strike from Olasanya. And the last time they were here in the Cup, it was a penalty win for Hearts, and we get the ball rolling here, but there's already been a goal at McDermott Park, so let's cross to Willie Miller. Finally, Willie.
Yeah, the deadlock has been broken, and it goes to Motherwell, who have dominated the proceedings, are well deserved of it. It's Lucas Fadinger that gets a goal down the left-hand side. He's put in by Eli Just, who's been brilliant all afternoon. Lovely little slick pass to him, and Fadinger drives in. He plays it across the goal. It does take a deflection off a St Johnstone player, but it was goalward bound. It ends up in the back of the net. It is St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 1.
A goal there, Hearts on the attack here, shooting from left to right into their home fans. Shanklin holds up, Steinwender invited forward, he crosses towards the back post, the header down from Braga is collected by Shamal George in the St Mirren goal. Thought about going quickly, and he will do. Tanser's peeled away to this near side, and he just couldn't get the ball under control in the chest. There's an innocent look towards the goalkeeper saying he wanted it in front of him, but Hearts now have the throw. That's disappointing from St Mirren. Shanklin turning Freckleton, but he gets the left leg out to block Stephen Thompson. St Mirren can't afford to do that in the second half of extra time.
No, not really. I mean, the ball out from Shamal George wasn't the best. It bounced high in front of Tanser and it gave possession back to Hearts. They've now got a throw in. I wonder if this one's coming long.
St Mirren 1, Hearts 1. 106 on the clock on the scoreboard, just behind Steinwender to our right. Long throw into the box, only Freckleton there, he can head away. Malik Dijksteel came on at the extra time interval to replace Killian Phillips, and he gets a touch, but the ball out to Sobavali sees the defender launch it out of play. It's the Hearts fans you could hear in the background. There's more of an anxiety around the St Mirren supporters, who in front of us are shielding their eyes from the low evening sun in Paisley. The blue sky opening up above the stands of low height around the Smysa as Michael Steinwender strolls forward over the halfway line. He looks long to loop it to the far side. Braga takes the touch inside the box, up against two. The layoff for Shanklin. Good strong defending from Freckleton. Did his clearance take a touch off the Hearts attacker? It did, so that's a St Mirren throw down at the corner flag over on the far side. And just when Hearts look like there's moments there, the tired legs of the St Mirren backline just managed to do enough to prevent them finding a way to go.
Yeah, you're right, Stuart. There's a lot of tired legs out there. A really good touch again from Braga into Shanklin, but unfortunately for him, he can't get the shot off.
King steps out, Shanklin there, Hearts in possession. Braga far side into a crowd of bodies. Devlin's there to take. Braga has it once more. He's been the liveliest since coming on in that final third, Braga, with the quick feet, but he gets the commentator's curse there as Sobavali wins the ball and now strolls forward, passes up the line. Mooney in behind Finlay, but the flag raised by the assistant. And there was an expectant sigh around from the St Mirren supporters. I think they just clocked on the fact that the 17-year-old just went a little bit too early there.
Yeah, he did. He likes that run, does Evan in behind, but he just needs to just be a wee bit more patient and hold it. He's got the pace, and Stuart Finley's looking tired, so it's the right option, but just a fraction early.
A couple of big moments last season for Mooney, scoring his first goal in the win against St Johnstone and helped to set up a winner against Rangers on Boxing Day here as well. Is there a big moment for Mooney in the second half of extra time? Kabangu, Birmingham. Now for Hearts, Forrest takes, Steinwender slides the ball in field. Shanklin has three ahead of him. He's on the ball away from King, running towards the box, and a final touch from King right at the end. Braga comes racing in, he's tripped and goes down, and King's in the face of the referee, pulling the shirt over his head, and that's an easy decision for Stephen McLean to pull out the yellow card that time. And not only that, this is a very, very promising position for Hearts with the free kick, and Stephen Kingsley, who came on at the interval, will take the ball as he looks to get this one on Shamal George's goal. The left foot, we've seen it before in the Cup too from Stephen Kingsley. What role will he have to play here? St Mirren 1, Hearts 1.
There's an opportunity. Lauren Shanklin's over it as well, you would think. Kingsley, normally the one that places it, will take it, but Shanklin will have a look.
Saw what Shanklin can do from around this position against Aberdeen in the league, although that was from open play and the goal was chopped off. Kingsley, we've seen it before. Hampden comes to mind.
It's very close to, I'm not saying it can be too close to the box to get it up and down, to be honest.
The wall being organised by Shamal George, the goalkeeper of St Mirren, and the referee. Some way back, almost in line with the penalty spot on the left side. Kingsley will see Shanklin move away from the ball, so it's all on the left-sided Hearts defender. Left-footed, steps up, clips it towards goal. It's dipping, but it goes over the crossbar. And a cheer from some St Mirren fans that the commentary team here have given Stephen Kingsley the big build-up, but it didn't come to anything. Stephen Thompson.
No, I mean, as Biscuits points out, it's difficult to get the ball up and down when you're as close to the goal as that. It did dip late, and it looked probably it was going to go a metre over the bar, but I think it dipped and only just a kind of foot over the bar. But a tough skill to get it up and down from there.
I would prefer, Stephen, when it's like that and it is too close to get up and down, somebody just comes up and leathers it, yeah, and then further back, they can have the one where he's trying to kill it.
A deflection or anything can maybe just wrong foot the goalkeeper, but that's not what happened. Hearts still on the attack though here, shooting into their own supporters. Kabangu looking to get to the byline. Both teams claim the throw-in goes the way of Hearts on the far side. The sun's shining over most of the pitch here in Paisley, bar that far side where there's a shade from the stand opposite us, and that's where the throw-in will be taken from. Kingsley ready with it. Hearts pack the penalty area. There's a bit of pushing going on between Claudio Braga and Alex Gogic. It's towards the front post. Nobody wins. It bounces. Headed away by O'Hara. And fired forward. It's back out to that far side. The cross is easy for King to deal with. Dykesteele, lovely touch. Was he brought down by Beningame? The ref pauses, has a think about it, and then points for the St Mirren free kick, and a sarcastic cheer from the St Mirren supporters. 1-1 it stays.
That's exactly what it was. He looked as though he wasn't going to give it for a second, but he did, and it's good for St Mirren because they were under the cosh there for the last wee while, so it gets them up the pitch.
But indifferent, the referee, I would say.
Aye.
Motherwell leading in extra time at McDermott Park in Perth. It's 1-1 here between St Mirren and Hearts. 8 minutes away from penalty kicks in Paisley. Shamal George on the free kick for St Mirren. Goes diagonal to this near side. Hands are interested. Steinvender gets it away for Hearts. Shanklin takes to Forrest. Charge down on Freckleton. We'll see a Hearts throw-in. If you are joining us late, maybe in the car on your way home, listening to Sports Sound after taking in a game this afternoon. Celtic, the holders, went through last night after a comfortable win against Kilmarnock. Aberdeen 3-0 winners away to Greenock Morton. Partick Thistle to Ayr United 0 sees Mark Wilson's team into the next round. Motherwell leading in Perth. This one all level in Paisley. Commentary to come after this one finishes between Rangers and Alloa Athletic. Gogic heads forward. Mooney will chase up against Kent. He cushions it back to the hands of Xander Clark. The quick roll out to the far side for Stephen Kingsley. Drills the pass forward for Braga. Turns in the shade on the far side. Pokes it back for Devlin. He'll skip away from the challenge. Still driving. Kingsley on the left side. Looks in field. Devlin there again. Claudio Braga asking for it unmarked, but Devlin and Kingsley will exchange passes. Beningame now takes over. He feeds it out to the far left side. Braga takes this time. Devlin looks to feed Kingsley in again. It's cleared away for a throw-in just by Marcus Fraser, because that ball looked to be rolling out for a corner. And now Fraser, the experienced defender, tries to organise the St Mirren defence for another long Hearts throw into the penalty area. Just over 6 minutes to play in the second half of extra time. 1-1 the score between St Mirren and Hearts. Launched in, headed away by Fraser and caught by Devlin.
What's he trying there?
Bowie.
He's actually going away from goal.
David Bowie.
No, he should have just put that back into the box where they had numbers up. Strange decision. I actually think he's been really good today, Cammy Devlin.
Yeah.
The comments from Alan Preston and Stephen Thompson tell you all you need to know about that effort, but the surname Devlin starts with a D and not a B like Brannan and Bowie. It was high and wide, and St Mirren have the goal kick to take. George looking for Mooney. Finlay wins the header. There's Sobowale. King. Fraser now trying to find a way to thread it through. Mooney takes, goes to ground. The referee has a look. The boot comes off of Evan Mooney, and that's what the St Mirren supporters are pointing at. And now the whistle has been blown by Stephen McLean late. Has he given the free kick? I've not seen the signal yet, so I'm not quite sure what's happening here, and neither do the players on the pitch.
It wasn't a foul, it was just a heavy touch from Evan, and then I think probably he stood on his boot and it's popped off, but that's...
bounce ball?
Nah, St Mirren have been given the foul here, which is fortunate for St Mirren.
And the players are now realising it, and they will make their way into their positions. So St Mirren with a rare opportunity in extra time to try and get this one towards the Hearts penalty box. They were the team forcing things in the first half of regulation time. The home side, the buddy Stephen Robinson, was happy with what he witnessed in that 45 minutes, but second half Hearts forcing the equaliser. They've had the majority of the possession, Derek McInnes's team, but can St Mirren sting the Jam Tarts here? O'Hara on the free kick. He's adjusting things a little. The referee wants the St Mirren captain to move on with it. There's screams all around the stadium. Such is the tension. Cabangu is the nearest player.
He was never 10 yards away.
And charged, and now the referee blows the whistle, and we'll have a word with Elton Cabangu.
And the thing is, Mark O'Hara's saying before he takes the free kick that Cabangu's not 10 yards, which he wasn't. And then, what's he been booked for? The
handball, I think. Yeah.
It's another of a few decisions that will be debated by both sets of supporters after this one settles here at the Smysa Stadium. The St Mirren coaching staff have some words for Evan Mooney, who's now making his way forward back into the pack of bodies.
I still don't think he's 10 yards.
Yeah, still unhappy.
Eric's trying to get him back so he doesn't get a second yellow.
Yeah, it's Hearts' boss that provides the instruction to the forward, and he takes the
25
couple
yards
of steps back on his heels. O'Hara takes, whips in high towards the back post, and it's above everyone, bouncing and out for a goal kick. That's disappointing from a St Mirren point of view, Stephen.
Yeah, it was, and for me it was the wrong type of pass. I think he's just got to clip it into the penalty spot area and let the bigger players that were up go and attack it. He's gone for a big floater to the back post and floated past everyone, unfortunately.
117 minutes on the clock, just a couple to go in the extra time period. Motherwell leading at Perth, so they look like they're about to wrap things up before penalties are required. The Premiership side on their trip to Perth against Championship St Johnstone. This is Kingsley on the ball here for Hearts. Braga dribbles away, uses Kingsley, high cross into the 6-yard area. The sun's shining into the penalty box, so a couple of players shielding their eyes. It's out to this near side for Forrest now. He's finding it difficult to find some space up against the Dowu, but now gets the cross over, and it's taken out of the sky by Shamal George in front of a plane landing at Glasgow Airport in the distance.
It's Braga now.
I think that's Braga down on the ground, just requiring a few moments for cramp in the left leg, which Alex Gogic will attend to on the opposite side. So let's take this moment to go over to Perth and Willie Miller.
Yeah, the seconds are ticking down, and Motherwell, who have dominated the game, and if they did take this 1-0 lead to the final whistle, then they thoroughly deserved it. They created the better opportunities. And saying that, in normal time, St Johnstone had two excellent opportunities, just before the final whistle to take us into extra time, but they didn't take them. One in particular from their captain, who should have scored. Then again, it's all about taking your chances. Weren't too many created this afternoon, and there's only one being taken, and that's the Motherwell's final whistle. Surely is just on the cusp of. So Motherwell just wasting time, just trying to run the clock down in the hope that they can take this tie.
Thank you, Willie. Play restarted here in Paisley. So they'll be charging down Forest. Hearts have the throw on the left side. A quick look at the clock shows 119 minutes, so we're in the final minute of the standard extra time. There is no additional time set to be played, so this one looks like it's heading towards penalties, with the two Premiership clubs vying for a place in the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Gogic puts the ball into the sky and goes down with cramp after attending to Claudio Braga in the Hearts side. The ball forward from St Mirren. Here's Malik Dykesdale juggling. Kent manages to get a foot in to clear the ball away. Kingsley moving forward. St Mirren want the game stopped, and Stephen McLean will bring...
He shouldn't... It's not a headlock, is it? So...
No, but I think he feels that he stopped it for Braga, so it's only fair he stops it for Gogic.
I can see why they'd be disappointed with that, because ultimately he doesn't have to stop the game.
No, he doesn't. And I think that's the point that Derek's making to the assistant on this side. Kingsley's on the ball, he's in acres of space, chance to drive forward, and he blows up.
Yeah.
But I think the referee's making sure and telling Stuart Finlay here that he done the same for Claudio Braga. So fair's fair.
Aye, that's
full time in Perth, so Motherwell have their name in the next round draw 2, which comes later on this evening alongside Aberdeen, Partick Thistle and Celtic, who will join between St Mirren and Hearts as Gogic stretches out the cramp with the physio. This one looks set for penalties. Time is up. The referee is pointing for Gogic to get off the pitch.
I'm hoping he's not taking a penalty, put it that way.
He's already got a goal in this game. Could he be a hero from the spot?
This just has to go forward for Hearts. They must know it's the final seconds. Just get it wide, play it forward.
The ball dropped. Devlin rolls to Kent. Kent does exactly as Alan Preston explains and fires forward. Finlay missed it. Kingsley has it far side. Loops it into the penalty area. Headed away by Freckleton. There's no chance there for Hearts, and St Mirren will look to clear. Dykesteele can only play it off Steinvender. Cabangu takes in the final third, right side of the penalty area. Gets to the byline, looking for space. Finds it with Forrest. Steinvender was just looking to slide it away, and that is it. The whistle blown by the referee, Stephen McLean. We have penalties in Paisley. No goals in extra time. Alex Gogic, the St Mirren scorer, after 35 minutes. And with 12 minutes left in regulation, 90, O.C. McEntee stepped up with a header. He's no longer on the pitch. Who will be the hero for St Mirren or Hearts? Full time and extra time. Penalties to come. St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 1.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Premier Sports Cup action for you on the programme today. Just see the pictures coming into the studio here from Paisley. The guys are out there. They're about to bring, I'm sure, a very dramatic penalty shootout there. I witnessed one up at Tannadice. It was so tense there on Thursday evening. So much at stake today. A reminder, we've had the Team News Somal. We will have second commentary match of the day coming up at 5:45. Rangers at home to Alloa Athletic. One other game this afternoon went to extra time. The game in Perth. St Johnstone home to Motherwell. Let's get the latest from Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, and it is finished now, and it's Motherwell that are the victors. St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 1. It was a really hard fought game, but Motherwell dominated throughout. There's some nice slick football, but it was always a struggle in front of goal. A number of chances for Motherwell, particularly in the second half. O'Donnell, Eli Just, Longello had a strike that was blocked. Andy Halliday had another one that volleyed just from outside the box. It was well saved. But then, just as it looked as though it was only going to be Motherwell that was going to take anything out of this game. Two brilliant opportunities for St Johnstone late on in normal time. Tumulty had a really speculative one from 30 yards, but wasn't far away. Just skimmed the post. But what an opportunity for Jason Hope. He's coming from a midfield position. It's cut back to him. He's some 14 yards out. He's got to, at the very least, hit the target. He puts it by the post. For me, it should have been the goal. It wasn't. You go into extra time and nothing in the first half of extra time. Then just at the start of the second half of extra time, 108 minutes it was. Eli Just, who I thought was outstanding throughout the game. Lovely little slick pass to Lucas Fadinger down the left hand side. He takes it with his right foot, he drives it across. He's looking to hit the back post, but it does take a deflection off of a St Johnstone defender, ends up in the back of the net. That broke the deadlock. From then on in, it was a little bit tepid, and Motherwell, I thought, deservedly, although St Johnstone put a lot into it, and there are the league between them, I think the St Johnstone supporters were appreciative of the effort from their team, but Motherwell running out at the end of the day and going to the hat this evening.
Yeah, thank you to Willie Miller for covering that game for us in Perth this afternoon. 5:45 start at Ibrox. Rangers at home to Alloa Athletic, and as Willie said, the quarter-final draw will take place right after that game at Ibrox this evening. Let's just very quickly hear from the Rangers manager, Russell Martin.
Russell, let's start with your team news, because you have made a raft of changes, I think it's fair to say. What's your thinking in terms of making just quite so many?
Well, we need to see players. We need to give them opportunity to play and push their way into the team. This group has predominantly been the guys that haven't played a huge amount recently, and they've trained so well. They've earned the opportunity to play, and we have a chance to put them on the pitch, and I'm excited about seeing some of them take an opportunity. So what we've seen in training from this group's been outstanding over the last couple of weeks, and I hope they can put it on the pitch today.
Potentially a debut this afternoon for Thalo Oscar off the off the bench. Again, similarly, that'll be something that will excite you as much as the fans to get him involved.
Yeah, I think Tello was looking so good in pre-season, so it was really frustrating and disappointing for him to pick up a little injury. And then Harms I haven't seen too much of because it's been a bit disjointed pre-season for him, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring as well if we can get him on the pitch. But I think Tello and Harms are a big boost for us to be back.
Just to wrap up on the team news front, if you like, I just want to ask about Jefte again. Not in the squad, not in the European squad. Can you tell us any more about, is he on the way out of the club?
Yeah, so as I said yesterday, he was in yesterday morning, and then things have transpired that he's not here now, but we'll have to wait and see what happens over the next couple of days. But obviously it's looking likely he will be on his way, and if he goes with everyone's best wishes, and if for whatever reason, because this is football, it doesn't happen, he'll be welcome back. So he's not involved today for those reasons.
Here's Shankland on the penalties between St Mirren and Hearts. Into the Hearts supporters to our right. Shankland steps up and scores! The first penalty converted, and it's the Hearts captain Lawrence Shankland sending Shamal George the wrong way. And now St Mirren stepping forward to take the penalty. And it's into the travelling support to our right. And it is a pressure situation. I'm just trying to see who it is. I think it's Richard King stepping forward, and he will step up right-footed up against Xander Clark. Up he steps. Oh, it's in! Xander Clark got a touch, but the ball ends up in the back of the net, and St Mirren are level.
He's got to save that. He has got to save that.
He guessed right, and it just seemed to squirm under his body. St Mirren getting away with one there.
And this looks like Stephen Kingsley stepping forward now. Apologies for the hesitation. We're at a side-on position from the penalty kicks almost, so when the players are walking forward we just need to wait. And now Stephen Kingsley will step up for Heart of Midlothian to try and regain the lead on the second round of penalty kicks. It's Kingsley, Hearts number 3, left-footed, and sends George the wrong way again. Another goal, another penalty scored from Hearts, and it's 2-1.
Cool penalty from Kingsley. They know how good he is at dead ball situations. Just stroked it into the bottom right corner. Shamal George going the wrong way.
And now it looks like Marcus Fraser stepping up for St Mirren. He'll be right-footed from the defender up against Xander Clark. Can he keep up the record of perfect penalties? It's a long run up. It's high and it's a goal.
A good penalty, that one, right down the middle. Keeper going to the side, no chance.
Tucked under the crossbar from the St Mirren defender. And now Claudio Braga is stepping up for Hearts in the third round of penalties. It is boiling here in Paisley. The sun's shining directly on us. It will be having a little bit of effect.
Sitting my hoodie on as well. What are you thinking?
Factor 50.
The Scottish football season, it could be cold in August, but this has been a hotly contested game all the way to penalties. Up steps Claudio Braga. It will be right-footed up against Shamal George, the St Mirren goalkeeper. Braga goes and it's saved. Shamal George dives low to his left and gets a strong left hand to it, and it's the first cross on the penalty kicks, and this could be advantage St Mirren.
He didn't look too confident. He took an eternity to take it.
It wasn't a good penalty.
Nah, good save.
Not far enough in the corner. Good height for the keeper. Shamal George guessing right, gets a strong hand to it. Very similar to the one actually that Xander Clark let in.
And now St Mirren will step up. It looks like Idowu. Xander Clark on his line, steps up, off the crossbar and a goal. Roland Idowu with a classic penalty, clipping the crossbar. What confidence, beautifully finished. And St Mirren, after 3 rounds of penalties, are in the front, 3-2.
Well, I think it was probably a lot closer than he wanted. Yes, it did look good coming off the underside of the bar. If it was an inch taller, it's hitting the face of the bar and coming back out. Still goes in the back of the net though, that's all that matters.
Alan Forrest stepping up for Hearts in front of the travelling support. He really wants to score, and he does. Sends Shamal George the wrong way, low to the player's right. The keeper dive to his right, and that means Hearts are level, but St Mirren still have a penalty to take. 3-3, and St Mirren look to go in front again, and it's young Evan Mooney.
Come on, Evan.
A slow walk up to the ball in front of the penalty spot. The referee, Stephen McLean, asks Xander Clark to go back on his goal line. This penalty from Mooney can pile the pressure on Hearts if he scores. He's central to the ball at the moment, shifts left, steps up, right-footed, lovely penalty, it's a goal, high to Xander Clark's right, into the top corner, tucked away expertly to the cries of Mooney from the St Mirren supporters.
Brilliant from the young man, took a lot of bottle that, and I have to say it's probably the best penalty we've seen so far. Reversed it high into the roof of the net, brilliant penalty kick.
Easily the best.
4 rounds of penalties, St Mirren lead 4-3.
Shamal George has been booked for coming out and standing on the penalty spot.
And it's Benny Beningame stepping up for Hearts. Beningame has to score. He's ready to go, right-footed, Benny Beningame, and scores. It's high, it silences the St Mirren supporters.
Just as good as Mooney's, very good finish.
Very good penalty kick that.
But this could
pressure.
Be it. St Mirren, if they score, will sail through from the penalties with a perfect lot into the next round. It's Malik Dykesdale, a recent signing, hasn't seen too much action for Stephen Robinson. Will he be the Buddies' hero? The whistle goes, Dykesdale steps up against Clark and scores! St Mirren progress to the League Cup quarter-final on penalty kicks. It's revenge for the Buddies from the Scottish Cup shootout that Hearts won 4-2 in February last season. Stephen Thompson, 5 perfect penalties from St Mirren.
Yeah, you have to say the St Mirren penalties were excellent, as were the Hearts ones, apart from that one missed from Braga. And do you know what? It was difficult during the game to St Mirren, obviously the better team by a distance first half. Second half, Hearts in extra time, neither team really looking like they were going to go and take the extra time and by the scruff of the neck and win the game. But St Mirren, yeah, I was here at the game in the Scottish Cup, I think it was February or March time, when Hearts won on penalties, and St Mirren now get their revenge. 2 games away, 1 game away from Hampden, 2 from the final.
Stephen Robinson celebrates his new contract with a St Mirren victory on penalties. Disappointment for Derek McInnes. It finishes here on penalty kicks. St Mirren won, Hearts won. St Mirren win 5-4 penalties. Let's cross over